Good evening, Barbados. Good evening, the Caribbean. Good evening to the world. You're watching the Marcia Week Show, and we are coming to you live from Barbados. Beautiful, beautiful, sunny, and hot Barbados. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope you had a fantastic Sunday, that you enjoyed it with your family, had a lovely Sunday dinner, regardless of what it is, to be able to give God thanks for what we have. We're happy, happy, happy to be with you this evening. And I'm seeing quite a number of persons have joined, and we are so grateful that you have joined. It is a privilege to be with you tonight, right here on the Marcia Week Show. Let me spend the time to welcome Sky Brown and Angel Humble. Cecilia Miller, good evening. Good evening, Cecilia. It's me, good evening. Marcia, my namesake, good evening. How are you doing? Nat Grant, how was today? How was Sunday? Did you go for a walk? Did you go to the garden? What did you do today? CG, how are you? Did you get some rest today? I really do hope that you got some rest today. It's important to do that. Teroni, good evening. Good evening, Teroni. Judy Jokes, good evening. Oh, my Lord, my people are coming on. Bim the Beautiful. Llewellyn Eiffel, Lucinda Ali. Lucinda, good evening. Hope to see you on Sunday, Lucinda. Ansel Seeley, Erwin Nurse, and Mildred Ben. How are we doing? FX Trading. Patrick. Oh, Patrick, good evening. Esther Blue, how is Esther doing? And Peter King. Mystic Angel, good evening. Joy and Faith, how are you doing this evening? Sir Alfred Benjamin, oh my goodness. Monica Inns, Hasbra, good evening. Good evening. Yes, it's a pleasure. Yes, Teroni. Teroni say I look sweet tonight. Well, thank you, Teroni. Thank you so much. And guess what? I want to make mention of this store called African Net Fashion Store. Okay, and they're located in Sheraton Mall. And this top that I'm wearing, anybody like African prints? Don't you think this is a lovely African print? I love it. I just love, there's a freshness to it. I agree with you, Teroni, that it's beautiful. Thank you so much for that wonderful compliment. And it's Africa Net Fashion Store. And that's where we get our African stuff from. And we told them that we'll mention them. All right. So go out and make and get some African wear and support each other. Okay. Wonderful. Dale Worrell, good evening. Cynthia Thorpe, good evening. Thorpe, good evening. Wendy Fort Griffith, Clytie Bond, how are you doing, Clytie? Yes, I had a splendid Sunday. My goodness, and I'm gonna tell you why I had a splendid Sunday. We went for a walk today. All right, we went for a walk. We went down to Skeets Bay and did a little hike down there, and went to the home. And I don't know if I can say the name. Dave has to tell me if I can say the name. Whose home we went to? Huh? No, I can't say the home, but someone who watches the show. All right, I went to the home of Jefferson. Yes, Jefferson Vernon Garnes, Kenneth Norville, and let me tell you, this in true Bajan spirit. We talk about the Bajan spirit. The Bajan spirit, Marcia Miller, is one of giving and caring for each other, and that's what we do. And I see it every night I come on this show. It is a pleasure. I might feel tired, and I come on, and you guys just lift up my spirit. Yeah. And I went. We passed by Anika. Anika is another one with great rage and spirit. Lots of you on here. CG, you guys are so giving and so kind, and that's what's going to really lift up Barbados. So let me show you what. Let me show you what I picked up. Whoa! You see my breadfruit? I got a breadfruit from a loyal opposition. This is a big one. Isn't it big? Oh my goodness. And I am so, this is the spirit here, guys. This is the spirit of Barbados. somebody passes your house and you have something for them, right? And I got this beautiful breadfruit, and oh Lord, I think I'm gonna roast it. And how should I do it? Well, how should I? Judy, Judy says she wants it. Oh, Judy, I have a tree too, Judy. And if I have any on my tree, I promise to bring you some. Send me a message. You should have my number, and send me, right? But how should I cook this breadfruit? How should I cook the breadfruit, right? Now, I had some breadfruit, right? You don't eat it. It's me. It's me. Said they don't eat breadfruit. It's me. What you talking about? Listen, this here, I could roast this and I could cut it and put the meat inside, right? Whatever meat, fish, chicken, right? Whatever I can put inside of the breadfruit. Yes, it's a whopper, or I can make breadfruit cuckoo. Yes, Teroni, I think I'm gonna roast it. I think I'm gonna roast it, and I'm gonna put, we can put some fish. You can put saltfish in the middle. They do that online. I do it as well, and take out the heart, and then but I cut it down the middle. All right. So that's that, and that is not all. And I had two of these, right? That's not all. That's not all. Look what I got. And some of you might not like this too much. I can't handle the stain part of it, but I got some green bananas. Listen, what do you like to eat green bananas with? Green banana cuckoo. What you all like to eat green banana with? This is the true Bajan spirit. You travel in the country, right? We were in St. Philip. Yes, East St. Philip. You travel, and guess what? These are the things that you get, and we are to share with each other as well. Victor Lewis, you owe me. Victor, don't even start it. You owe me some breadfruit, Victor. St. Joseph, listen, they have, man, the most luscious breadfruit, and big and green and meaty. Yes, green banana. Yes, that is the food of power. Yes, some mackerel gravy. Yes, I need to do some mackerel gravy. I need to do some mackerel gravy. Cucumbers, okras on the side, green banana and saltfish. Yes, man. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now, listen. This is what we call the true Bajan spirit, and these are some of the things that I got today as we went a little hike, and you meet upon people, and people are so grateful for what we do on the show, what all of us do on the show. People are very grateful, and from time to time they want to bless us with different things, and I just wanna say that it's so good to have that true Bajan spirit. And I want to celebrate that. I really want to celebrate that on the Marcia Week show. And there is one person that her name is Donna Quinton. And I told you that she was 70, but she's 69, almost 70. She's going to be 70 soon, right? Loyal daughter. Okay, loyal daughter. Oh, I will fix you up. I will get you fixed up, loyal daughter. I'll get you fixed up. Yeah. Yes. Oh, really? With in coconut milk. Oh, Kenneth Norville, you're gonna let me want to try that. I think we have some dry coconuts. I'm gonna try. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, yes, yes. Kenneth, Kenneth, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. Oh, Judy telling me something here. Judy, I have to call you, and you have to tell me what you're telling me here about roasting this breadfruit. You see, it's good to learn new things. But, this is in keeping with the Bajan spirit. And we want to encourage that. We want to look for moments that we share with our neighbors. Okay? Find a way to share with your neighbors. Yesterday, In the week, my neighbor, I have a chicken, a little chicken coop, a little thing, and I don't have any time to raise any chickens, so I gave it to my neighbor, and my neighbor raised the chickens, and then I can get eggs. Literally, it happens. I go and I get 12 eggs. But he has my chicken coop, and I know he's probably listening. He's a good neighbor, and we plan for each other. We share with each other, with our neighbors. I get goat manure from somebody, and that's the Bajan spirit, and that's what we want to get inculcated within our children. You see, all of the fighting we have at school, we want to find a way to push that Bajan spirit. And I forgot what I was saying earlier. I was saying I met this Guyanese woman, and her name is Donna Quinton, and she feeds the homeless in Barbados. Yes, and she does it with Clive Jordan, and as you know, Clive was on the show before, and she exhibits the true Bajan spirit. I went by her house on Saturday morning. She lives in Britton's Hill, and I literally went to her house, and she was cooking for the homeless, and she had somebody there with her who comes in on a Saturday morning, and Donna has been doing that for 3 years. I tried to film something, but I lost the footage, and I wanted to show you because I really want to keep talking about that Bajan spirit. And Donna is going to cook for us, cook for the people of Chapman Lane on Sunday, because Sunday we are going out in true Bajan spirit. We are going out in true Bajan spirit. We're going to go out and we are going to share with with the people in Chapman Lane. We're going to go into our cupboards, right? And we're going to take out our food cupboard, take out something out of there, put in a plastic bag or whatever, and bring to the walk on Sunday. Let's make this the biggest walk ever, guys. Over 400 of you are watching. Let's make this walk on Sunday, October 6th, 3 p.m., the biggest walk. Let's not say, oh, well, we didn't have any shooting in the last week, therefore, but we had 3 stabbings at schools. I'm hearing that Combermere had a stabbing. They just didn't announce it. That's what it's alleged. So we know for sure that there was one at Alexandra School, that there was one at Graydon Sealy. And it came to me over the weekend that there was one at Combermere. Anybody else confirming that? Yes. So, folks, let us bring the Bajan spirit to Chapman Lane. What do you say about that? We're going to go and we're going to bring something. We say bring non-perishable. But suppose you have a breadfruit and you want to bring breadfruits. Bring the breadfruits. You want to bring breadfruit? You want to bring green bananas? You want to pick something from your garden? You want to buy something from the supermarket? Bring something. Let us all, those of you in St. Joseph, I would love if we come in parishes, man. Those of you in St. Joseph, come together. Bring people in your vehicle from St. Joseph and pack it up with some breadfruits. And bring to Chapman Lane for the people in Chapman Lane. It is the Bajan spirit that we are exhibiting. Let us join in with Donna Quinton, who was Guyanese born. Donna, I love that woman so much. I was with her again on Friday, because Friday, in true Bajan spirit, we went to look for, you remember the lady that we got the wheelchair for? We went to look for her. She had another issue, and we went to look for her in the hospital. Donna was there. Donna took that lady's clothes, and she's not related, but in true Bajan spirit, and I know you all know what I mean. She took her all of those clothes that the woman had at the hospital. She washed them, and Donna didn't just wash them. Donna took a bus with them, put them in a little pulley suitcase on the bus at 70. I'm saying she's 70. She's 69 years old. And she went up to the hospital. I met her at the hospital. I didn't even know she was carrying all of those things. And we went up there, and through your help, we were able to get her, something. We don't want to say everything on the show. But I want you to know that when you give your donations, we use it in a way to help those who need help. It's not just for the sound, and it's not just for the truck, those equipment, those kind of things. But once someone is in need, thankfully, Mr. Franklin, when I met up with him, this is what he was doing. And so he was exhibiting that Bajan spirit. I went up to him to collect some donations, and there were people there collecting. I met somebody there collecting groceries and money from Caswell, right there at Unity Workers Union. That's a man. Mr. Caswell has a big heart. He exhibits the Bajan spirit, and I know he would love to be on the show. He's trying to, get himself better, so that he can get back on the show. But Sunday we are going out for a solemn walk. We are going to have the placards with all the names of those young men who were killed since the start of the year. This is not going to die down, guys. Meaning that we're not going to we're not going to stop feeling for the families and connecting with the families. We're not going to stop. We need to go to all of these communities every other Sunday. Set aside the time. Set aside the time. We will have the placards. We're going to bring something, take something from our cupboard, or pick something from your tree. Come on, man, bring down some bagloads of breadfruit, some crocus bag of, remember crocus bag? Who remember crocus bag? Crocus bag of bread shoe. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Let us bring that together. Let's bring it, Camillus. Let's bring it together, Camillus. Let us bring everything together. That's us there on the street, when we're going to Nelson Street. Yeah, put some breadfruit. You might want to buy, if you grow pumpkins and you want to get some pumpkins and put in there. Nothing that will spoil quickly, right? But just let us share. 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 Sharing is a Bajan way. Caring is a Bajan way. And we do not need to wait on our leaders for us to care for each other. No, we don't. No, we don't. It was Donna Quinton who heard the woman crying out in another apartment close to her, and went to look on her because she was crying out, no family to take care of her. Yes, you could bring some sweet potatoes. Right? Bring some sweet potatoes. Right? Loyal daughter 66, you live close enough to me, and I'm going to share some of what I got with you. I'm talking about sharing, and yes, I'm going to share a breadfruit with you, okay? Oh, look out for it. Look out for it tomorrow, right? Yes, that is it. Let us keep alive the traditional Barbadian ethos. It is the Bajan spirit. That's it. That's what it is in true Bajan spirit. Let's go look for the people at Chapman Lane. Huh? Come on, man. Bajan spirit. And every night I'm going to come and celebrate the Bajan spirit. All right? So let us give to each other. Find something in your home to give. Sometimes, we might say that that we look at loyal daughter is happy she's going to get the breadfruit. Loyal daughter, let me show you the breadfruit again, because I tell her she's a little foodie. She's a foodie, and I got two. I'm sure I got two breadfruit. I'm sure. Yes, I got two breadfruits. I'm going to share one with you. Okay. All right. No, lovely. Now, this is what we want to happen on Sunday. Please don't let's find any excuses. Donna Quinton is going to be cooking for the people in Chapman Lane. She said to me, Marcia, let's give the people a warm meal. And we're going to do that. All right. So we're going to need some of you to be serving, etc. The meal is not for us. Let us give. Yes, it's a huge breadfruit, Vihoy. I know you're all the way in New York. You can't get any. Right. But if you were here, we would share it. We would share with you. Because people like Vihoy, they make sure that this show keeps going. And so You know, when people are saying, oh, you know, that we are being funded by one particular corporate entity, lies. It is, we are here because of the Bajan spirit. That's why we're here, and that's what we're taking to Chapman Lane. Let me see the before we go to our anthem. We haven't done the anthem, but the anthem will be fitting to come after the Bajan spirit segment. So, oh Lord, Judy, you look like you're cooking. Judy's telling us that the breadfruit is yellow meat. I don't know the difference. Yes, yes. Oh boy, I will eat it and tell you, Judy. I will, when I cook it, I will come and tell you all how I cook. I'll take a picture. Wonderful. Now, folks, let me see the thumbs up of those who are going to bring the Bajan spirit to Chapman Lane next Sunday. You're coming out in your white. You are going to come out and bring that love and bring that light and bring the joy to Chapman Lane. Let me see the hands up. Let me see the thumbs up. Those who are, how many of you are coming? Don't tell me no foolishness about you being afraid or anything. All right? We're going to have a treat for you. You know, we have the young people are going to sing and they're doing the poetry, etc. Judy Jills, always there. Teroni. That's only two of you coming. Only two of you bringing that Bajan spirit to Chapman Lane. Come on. Listen. We're going to have some street theater as well. We have some Praise Academy is coming, the school that I run. I was there with them on Saturday rehearsing. And so they're going to bring some street theater. Right? Some street theater is going to be happening right there on the streets in Chapman Lane. Okay, as we walk, we're going to stop and we're going to have street theater and some dance. Oh my goodness, the girls, they're going to be doing some modern dancing. Going to be happening right there in Chapman. There, we're bringing the arts. Yes, in full color. All right. So listen, yes, Anika said we're outside. We will have the truck. We're going to decorate the truck, and we're going to have all of those. You know, I might just bring out the wings. I might just bring out. We have some huge angel wings. I think I might just bring out the wings. I bring out the wings and do a big theatrical thing right there on the street. They're going to do some theater. Yeah. Oh, my Lord. It's just Nigel Newton. Nobody else going. There's about 5 of you going. I don't understand. It's only 508 of you are on here. What are we doing here, guys? Listen. Timon Howard. Is this my Timon Howard that does the poetry? If it's him, I know he's going to be there because he's going to be doing the poetry. He's going to be there. Who else will be there? Who else will be going with us, bringing that Bajan spirit on the solemn walk to Chapman Lane? Who are the people going? Yes, Timon will be there. Okay, it's Timon. So Timon will be there. Listen, folks, listen. You can't leave us out there by ourselves. No, we've got to, we've got to do something. It's important. It's very important yes, our anthem is coming up. I haven't forgotten it. Marcia, are you coming with us? Marcia, are you in Barbados? Are you going to join us? Are you joining us? Please, everybody, come out and join us. We're going to start at St. Mary's Church right there in front of Jubilee Gardens, okay? And then we're going to go right around there, the car park, and then go into Chapman Lane, all right? And we're going on 3rd Avenue, etc. It's going to be fantastic. Come on, it's going to be lots of fun. Well, we've got to go right into our anthem, which we are late. It's 7:25. So we're going to go right into our favorite song, our national anthem. Let's stand for the playing of the national anthem in true Bajan spirit.
Bride
Barbados. Yes, Barbados. Listen, I tell you, I try to sing along with the anthem. And for me, it is a very important piece of what do you call it? Work. This song is so important. It's a beautiful anthem with beautiful lyrics. And I believe if we just sometimes, if we could stop and meditate on the anthem, I think we can change this country. We could change this country. One person at a time. The true Bajan spirit is what we need. If we have the Bajan spirit and we are exercising the true Bajan spirit, we can stop all of this killing and all of this shooting. Yes, we can. And listen, I have one of my favorite people here. Mr. GLYNE Murray is here with us in the house. Welcome, sir.
Good night, Marcia. You sound in good shape. It sounds as though you have a great day.
Yes, I did. And you know what? As I was talking about the breadfruit, I was reading your book, and in your book, you see, I'm at food as Bajan heritage, and you were talking about some things right in here that you talked about, and I was asking Dave. I said, Dave, do you know about these things? Because you talk about the fish cakes and bakes, but you talk about also something with a cocoa and dumplings.
Cocoa tea and dumplings, yes.
Cocoa tea and dumplings, yes,
Right.
and also biscuit,
Yes.
like a biscuit.
Yes,
What you
salt
call it?
biscuits. Salt biscuits with salt fish, or you talk when you soak the biscuit, when you dunk it in your tea. I think
Yes.
like how you have Dunkin' Donuts in North America. You used to dunk
Uh-huh.
your bread or your biscuits into your tea.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
I,
And
I, I'm I'm glad you mentioned the book because people have been calling me. They're not available in the bookstores, but you can. The libraries have the public library has a number of them. So if you can
yes.
check the various branches of the pub, you'll be able to borrow them for your own, like, or your own under their own conditions.
Yes, 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 yes. But I mean, it's really it was great. It's great reading. It makes me as I'm reading it, it's like you could see it very well written
Thank
and
you, thank you,
very descriptive, and it takes you there. It takes you to Spooner's Hill, and
thank you,
I love it.
thank you.
And
By the way, for those who ask, the name is um, um, er, uh, Customs to Treasure: Early Gems of Bayesian Creativity. Customs to Treasure: Early Gems of Bayesian Creativity, and I'm the author.
yes, 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 Glenn Murray, and it's really great reading.
Thank you,
And
thank you,
yes, I read it at a little at a time because you just want to savor it, but it's really good. Well,
thank you.
welcome, sir. And it's we were talking about the Bajan spirit, and tonight you said to me that you want to give a lesson in civics, and
Right.
we did civics in Jamaica. Actually, civics we actually did that as part of common entrance. There was a section in there on civics. That entry level exam to get into secondary school back in my time in Jamaica, but we don't have those things anymore. So
No.
I'm going to move out of the way and let you go right into your classes in session.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that your playing of the national anthem put me into the frame of mind to do this.
Yes.
I talk about Bajan lesson in civics, and civics is understood as um, the study of the right and duties of the citizens of a society and how it functions for them. Right?
Mm.
The study of the
Can you
right
repeat?
and
Can you repeat it slowly? Because listen, guys, the class is in session. A lot of you said that you want you want to you wish that we would go back and teach civics. Well, for the next 20 minutes, we have a lesson in civics. So can you repeat your definition, sir, of civics?
the study of the rights and duties of the citizens of a society and how that society functions.
Right. The
So
study of the rights and duties.
duties, right. Um,
Mhm.
in my day at primary school at St. Giles especially, and I understand they now call what used to be uh, called civics is now amalgamated into a lot of other areas and called social studies. But in civics, we had to know all the parishes in Barbados. We had to know
Mm,
the names of each MP
mm,
in that parish. So there would be 11 parishes, and in those days you had two members each. So you had 22 MPs, and then you got the city, two more 24. You had to know the names of the MPs of each parish, each constituency. And then you would also then you got to know. Then you had to those who were ministers. You had to know their portfolios. And you'll be questioned is this. You'll be asked to draw a map of Barbados. You have to draw the map of Barbados, and then you have to draw in the parishes and put in the names of the persons. So you'd have a full lesson of knowing how your society looks, who was where, and you had a great appreciation of how that happened. And you were questioned, you were tested, and you got marks for it. So much so that when they realized, and this when they realized that this was no longer being taught and people didn't know their MPs and their names. Um, One of the first things I did when they got in the government, I was Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, and they had responsibility for the government printery.
yes.
We printed posters of. I got together, put all the governors generals that we've had in Barbados, or one poster with their names and their pictures. And I did another one on the premiers and prime ministers of Barbados, Gordon Cummings, Granny Adams, etc., Sabara, etc. Because all these were important. I remember my day, I remember being, I felt it important to identify these persons or who they did or what they stood for was very important for the continuation of
Can I
early
ask you
Barbados.
if we can do this in a in a discussion format, because I'm very interested in what you
Okay,
are saying,
okay, right.
because I fell in love with Barbados after doing the Barra movie. That's what happened to me. Doing the Barra movie, because I got to know the history. So how important do you think knowing the history, or those persons who serve and are served, currently serving, and have served in Barbados, how important is that to the development of the country?
All that helps to develop a sense of consciousness as a society, knowing that they were persons rather than just reading about Henry VIII and Shakespeare. We could read and know about our own persons who helped to develop our own society in their own eyes and imagination and vision, who have helped to make what we are to Barbados. Otherwise, we always starting from scratch and depend on the Eurocentric history. Those were our own our own heroes then. Granny Adams, Hugh Springer, Frank Walcott, Gordon Cummings, etc. Those are people who helped to make us who we are, and we should never ever forget them. And the reasons why I thought I would do this lessons too is that it actually arose out of a remark by one of the callers last week who said that we were talking about Barbados. She talked about how Prime Minister Tom Adams said, and she said it was on record, that Barbadians had short memories. I
Mm,
remember in my day that was attributed to Granny Adams, and she said it was a matter of record, and she said it as though in the context of uh, Tom Adams allegedly saying that, which said meant that because the others allegedly had short memories, you can tell them or do anything and they would not remember. But Granny Adams said that in the context of that you have to remind people of the things you do, otherwise other things would come and fill the void and they would not remember. So it was in that context. But I thought that if those and she said it with great authority and certainly said it was on record. I knew it was not on record because that happened in my time. So I thought I would use that occasion to try to sort out that, um, just to put the record straight so we can build on that. And I thought I would at the same time use to give you how we got to where we are. For example, right now we have 30 constituencies. Before we went to we used to have 12 constituencies with double member constituencies in each,
mm,
a senior member and a junior. In 1971, we got single member constituencies because there had been a redistribution of the populous people have moved, new developments. So the boundaries and electoral boundaries would have shifted boundaries in order to incorporate have a very you're supposed to have a very even distribution of people in every constituency. Some go up, some go left, but they're supposed to be an average, and that was the reason for the redistribution or the realigning of the boundaries, which were no longer then based strictly on parish, but on population density and location or whatnot. So, um, so that and before, and as a matter of fact, another important fact is that before at one time, before 1951, when we got universal debt suffrage, which meant
Yeah.
that as long as you were 21 years old and not in prison, you were eligible to vote. No qualifications. Prior to that, there were income qualifications. You had to have a certain income or property that will generate certain income to be able on the electoral rolls. Or only it was a very small electoral roll in Barbados because mainly only the plantation owners, the business owners, people with property could vote. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very, 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 very undemocratic. And there were elections every year. Every year you could afford it because there was a small electorate. So they had elections every year. And then it went from one,
Election, who were we voting for every year?
they were voting for themselves. Because only people with property could vote. So property people vote for property people. The country in those days was deep in the hands of the plantocracy and the
Ah.
mercantile community. So they were voting for themselves. Gradiams abolished that and democratized it in 1951. That's why he got the name of Father of Democracy, right? So you
Mm.
had election every year. Then it was 2 years. Then it became 3 years, and that 3 years went on to 1951. And in 51, when we got universal adult suffrage and we had popular democracy, then it was after that was supposed to run for 3 years, but then it was realized that 3 years did not give a democratic elected government time enough to do its program. So it was then extended to 5 years to 56. But interestingly enough, Mr. Barrow, who had then left the BLP and formed the DLP, criticized the extension of 5 years, said it was 2 years. And when his party got to the power, they would take it back to 3 years. They got back into power in 19, they got into power in 1961, but they never changed because the reality is that 3 years, by the time you go in and discuss manifest, 3 years go very, very quickly.
Very
So
quickly.
that is why we had it. That's why we have maintained the 5 years ever since. But it showed you how people say things in the heat of a battle of opposition, but then when you
Yes,
get you see it in a different light or whatsoever. So
yes,
so
yes.
right. So that is history is that. And then in 1961 we got full universal adult suffrage, which meant that at that point, we only thing Britain was responsible for was our defense and security and our foreign affairs. Bearing in
Yes.
mind that we were never a granted aid colony, up to that time, we had always paid or managed the country out of our own resources, all the taxes we paid, the revenues we had. Britain never gave a lump sum every year to do the administration of Barbados. So we were always by the time in 1961 came. But in fact, by the time independence came, the only thing that we could do for ourselves was defense and security and foreign affairs. So it was that's why it was such a smooth transition to independence in
Mm.
1966 because we were doing everything else ourselves. We were
So, Mr.
fully
Murray, so we haven't really, technically, we haven't really had much of a change since we became a republic.
no. That's only a nominal change, but they're not fun. There's no fundamental change. Our last major change was when we had an independence constitution. By that independence constitution went until we became a republic overnight. But it makes a mockery of a constitution. Before that, when we went into independence, uh, we had Mr. Barr had called election. The agreement was we go into independence, agreed by the opposition in the Conference of London, and agreed by Britain. But we had to have elections to make sure that the public was behind this move to independence. Just as if we would have had the promised referendum to prove that we were in favor of going republic, we would have had popular grassroots support, which we don't have because we did not. the BIP did not keep its promise to give a referendum to certify that the public was behind going to
But
reply as
I
public.
hope this doesn't take you away from but can you just, I mean, if you believe that it would have caused the public, the society, the citizens to be, behind this republic and to be all into it, because obviously they're not at this stage, why do you think they didn't do the referendum?
Because referendums are tricky. Referendums are, you would have a referendum, the question on paper might be, what do you think that Barbados should become a republic? Right? But when people go to vote, people normally use referendums or referenda or what we call it these days to cast verdict on the entire operation of government because becomes an evaluation of the government's performance today. So you'll have had to talk about the economy and schools and health and transport coming into that, rather than just focus on the straight term of what the question is on paper. And people are afraid of that. I think the Prime Minister was afraid of that because and that is why we did not have that referendum, because it would have made, right. So it is not just strictly if you're passing an exam, yes or no. You take, people use their own emotional involvement, how they feel about the government, how they feel about society, to pass judgment on that. So that is why I thought that she thought to play it safe, and therefore therefore they don't have the referendum. And I think we are the worst for it because we could have used the last few years if we had had a referendum, if we had had a constitution. Those would have been the formative years that we would be building the traditions and practice and the Bajan spirit, Bajan Republican spirit, doing things, and that would create the feeling. And you build on that. And that's how societies build themselves. They build their tradition, their folklore, etc. Nobody sits down overnight and drafts it. You might have a plan, but then it changes and evolves over the years. I like to say that the trooping of the guard, Buckingham Palace, did not drop down out of the sky. People sat down and consciously planned such an event, and it grew and morphed and expanded. And now it becomes part. That's how things happen in society. It comes from the ideas and the souls of the people. So I'm saying we are the worst for it because of that. And I say that not knowing your name of your MP is very rampant these days, because in those days, like I said, you knew who your MPs were by name, what were the roles as minister, etc. Now, because you have 30 seats and we had 230 levels, and because there's always 20 somebody, 20 plus, 25 plus ministers, people don't refer to I have not seen my minister. When they used to say, I have not seen my MP, my representative, my parliamentary representative, my member parliament, they don't say, because there's so many ministers falling over each other that they now identify the representative as a minister rather as an MP. So the relationship is different, right? I think that is something where the spirit of things has suffered considerably. So I think we really should. I really think that there needs to be, go back to a form of civics or whatever you call it, where people are. We used to have booklets. We can produce booklets at the government printing, but I know they don't believe in printing these days. Everything has to be online. But children should be able to read and pore over and mark and copy the parishes, the MPs, etc., as a matter of identification and growing as part of the society, feel involved with the society rather than just abstract ideas and names where they don't relate to them. These names should be all in all the schools. The current MP of a school in that parish should have a picture not only of the governor or the prime minister or the minister, but the MP. That basic identification. Children can identify and wish to be like that too on the wall. All that is how you build opportunity, you build ambition, you build relating to the person before you.
Mr. Murray, there's a question here from Nikki Tay, and I want to understand the question, Nikki Tay. You are asking, can you ask Mr. Murray, why are issues placed on the ballot? I'm not sure what she's asking. I don't know if you understand. If it's not clear, Nikki, can you make it a bit clearer in the comment section so we can answer the question. Do you understand the question, Mr. Murray?
No, no, well, no. I think she wants to know why that would have to refer to a referendum because in the normal balloting in the general election or
Oh,
by election, only a name goes on the ballot paper. You vote for a name of a person for a concept. You do not vote for on an issue. Issues come in the form of referendum or what we might call it, but not as part of a general election or by election. That would be how you would seek to answer that. All right. So I thought that might be a useful um, exercise to bring these things to people's attention. And and and, so we had the father of democracy in the name of Sir Grant, as we call the momentous he took in ending
oh, she was asking why are issues not placed on the ballot?
because you're voting for a representative of a constituency and not on an issue. Right? You're voting for a representative. The House of Assembly identifies persons representing constituents, not issues. It's all part of the Constitution. It's something which I think would be impractical. Actually, you could more to do that to do it together. Even if you try to do them together, I think it would be confusing, complicated, and a lot of issues, a lot of important things can be lost in the shuffle of the issues overshadowing the personality. Because you're voting for a person, the right to vote for a person, as under the Constitution of Barbados.
Yes, and Loyal Daughter 66 is saying that there's a section or unit of on civics in the social studies syllabus. But I think, as you are saying, Loyal Daughter, depends on the emphasis that the head of department or the head teacher or the senior teachers they place on it. Because I've had three children in school and they've all been, taught emphasis, was placed differently on it. So I think that what Mr. Murray is speaking of is something a little more intentional. It's not just a unit, but it's something that is more intentional. And like I was saying, as a child growing up, it was part of my common entrance that you had to do a civics, something in civics. You had to answer that for common entrance when that was way back in my day. Back to you, Mr. Murray.
Yeah, and I think the thing that happened in my time and your time, they didn't do any harm to society. In fact, they would have done the exact opposite because it would have built a feeling and an attitude of involvement, identification, of participation, of person that you can relate to. And I think we have been better off for it. But I want to switch gears again and go to another topic, which is I want to talk about the Prime Minister, again, as part of civic lesson at the United Nations, right? First of all, you would have seen the Prime Minister, Wednesday, Thursday, a few days ago. I'm not sure, I don't recall which day. Maybe you can remind me which day it was when she addressed the United Nations. It's always a very important occasion for Barbados, that annual visit to the UN by the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister is not available, the Minister of Foreign Affairs or some of the senior government official would speak. I just like to say that I too I've never represented Barbados, I've never spoken at the United Nations, but I voted for Barbados at the United Nations. I attended Barbados a UN conference on HIV/AIDS. The Prime Minister after came and spoke, and then we discussed issues and we had to vote. So I felt very proud of myself that here's a little boy from Spoonersville, Spoonersville, in this big August hall that you see on television all the time. And here I am casting a vote for my country, Barbados. It was a very meaningful moment for me. And it was, just let me say that the hall, in person, the hall is very ordinary, but TV gives it its glamour. But it's not a luxurious spanking, it's just another meeting room. But I guess the atmosphere and the way you see it on TV is much more glamorous and interesting than you saw. As regard the Prime Minister's speech, and you will have heard me speak from time to time about in politics, talking about front stage behavior backstage behavior, offstage behavior. No, so and these are performances that politicians do because this is they speak and in a style in a particular way, depending on the occasion. And this is the kind of occasion United Nations, where all 93 members are eligible to speak. Okay, so persons, so you don't get invited to speak because the country is so important, or because the
Okay.
speaker for the country is so dynamic and accelerating. It's a matter. It's an obligation. It's a possibility of leadership style, of leadership opportunity for the country. So you go
Okay.
and speak.
So you're saying that all of the countries have the opportunity to speak.
Right, right.
Okay.
So I know the when you listen to face when you watch, what did I get of Facebook? People saying because I'm not of that. I think it's a wasteful time being on Facebook. I get things from it selectively.
Yes.
They spoke as though uh, the prime minister was the movie star, the leading actor of the day. But it's all part of the ceremony and the pomp and circumstance every year for any country. And that is, as had previous prime ministers done ever since 1966, starting with Al Bayer. So I'd like to say that too, that she would have performed for the occasion. I see, and it's not, and the a lot of the applause when they listen to it and watch carefully, it is expected through politeness. It's a club almost like. And there's certain rituals you go through, and unless this happen, you politely applaud. You don't get standing ovations for Joe. I cannot recall any standing ovation. Maybe it happened. So it's part of the routine of welcoming and showing respect of the mutual behavior beyond countries. And the prime minister would have gotten some applause. And but I think it was also interesting that coming after Israel. Remember Israel when Israel spoke, a lot of the Arab and other countries walked out of
Mm-hmm.
in objection because of the war in Gaza, whatever's going on in the Middle East. So by the time the PM came and spoke, and she was critical of Israel in her speech, and don't forget the principle: the critic of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have garnered. So this 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 adulation, adoration. Uh, and the thing about diplomacy is that at the end of the day, what do you get? How does your country benefit? The speeches, the applause is one thing, but at the end of the day, that is the United States is a transactional occasionally. Quid pro quo. You do something for me. I want your vote. I want your support. Yes, but I will do it if you do this for my country. So it's not a fan club. It's transactions. It's horse trading. You give, I take, etc. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The applause doesn't matter. What matters most is what has your country gained from it. And there, excuse me for a sec, please.
So you're saying that as much as the prime minister was was eloquent, I'm filling in those because she's an eloquent speaker.
Yeah.
She can command a room, and I've always given that to her, and very good networker. Your issue is people need to put it in context that she was not chosen to speak, that all the countries have that opportunity to speak, and so she spoke because Barbados is part of the United Nations,
Right.
and that it's just customary, and it's nothing that she was chosen in particular, albeit she's a very good speaker, and she's able to command a room, and she did an excellent job of that. Right? So
But
continue,
yeah,
Mr. Curry.
yeah. But at the United Nations and at those conferences, the real important issues are not done in speeches, public speeches. Is what is the negotiations you heard on the sidelines where you have a Barbados might want a meeting with France and they negotiate, discuss this. That's what the real benefits are. Because your duty as a diplomat is always to put your country's interests first and put
Mm,
your country in a good and represent the interest and image of your country. So in the final analysis, all politics is local. It does not matter what you get, the applause you get at the United Nations. What matters is what you get to the benefit of Barbados when you speak, negotiate, horse trade, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was High Commissioner in Canada, we used to get criticisms uh, I, to me from people in Toronto and other parts of Canada, Ottawa, that Prime Minister Arthur did not come up to visit Toronto or Ottawa or whatever. I would pass on the comments to him. He said that there was nothing to stop him from saying he wants to go to Toronto for 5 days and meet people, etc. He thought that was important, but he said because he had representatives like myself in Ottawa and the Consul General in Toronto, what mattered most, he would do it if at the end of the day he's going to sign some agreement that would advance his Barbados' social or political economic interests that further than just go for the ride. So he was not interested in a lot of ceremonial stuff, but how does he get things done for Barbados? He was not. He was not a lot into a lot of awards. So that
So
I'm saying.
let me see here. So you're saying that, and I've heard that there's a similar thing for Mr. Frundle Stewart, Maxine McLean, who actually, she's back in the country, if I could say that, from her holiday. And this would be a great, she would be able to shed a lot of light on this since she was Minister of Foreign Affairs. So you're saying that there were occasions for Prime Minister Owen Arthur, who was a fantastic prime minister, as far as I'm concerned. And there were times when he would not travel because he felt that he needed to take care of things home, or if the trip didn't, directly affect Barbados, he didn't think he needed to do all these ceremonial things, right?
Right. As a matter of fact, you just here was the prime minister speaking powerfully, zealously about the international situation, all kind of issues in Gaza, other parts of the world, the wars, the various people suffering, etc. But at the same time, what was happening in her, what was happening in her society? She left a society that was financially crippled, um, education collapsing, health service in bad shape, no great industrial growth, a society, the crime and violence. As a matter of fact, what I found interesting was that the prime minister spoke, when she spoke in Barb's, she described the crime situation as being a representative of terrorism. I've never heard a prime minister or any minister describe crime in Barbados as a terroristic or terrorist activity. To me, that put in a totally different crime, high crime, bad crime. I thought it put in a totally different dimension. And I do not believe in coincidences. And I found it very interesting that it was only after the Prime Minister spoke about use terrorism, described the shooting in Nelson Street, the three murders in Nelson Street, that the British government, the UK government, issued a travel advisory.
Yes, I saw
Because
the travel advisory. I will get it to put up. Go ahead. I will get it
up,
up. Go ahead.
up to that point, you would get, and when you read the travel advisory, it talks very little about terrorism, but it does not present the comments on the various areas of Barbados as though it's in the hands of terrorists. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that I think that use of that term might have triggered the British UK government so that we have to protect our citizens and put them on their guard based on what Barbadians are now saying about
So,
themselves.
so hold a minute, because I've stopped. Honestly, I didn't listen to the speech. I know that she's a great speaker, but I didn't listen to the speech, to be honest, because for a while I can't be bothered. But let me ask you something. So you're saying that she said that what was happening here was terrorism,
Yeah,
domestic terrorism.
she described the activity in Nelson Street when people got killed and 8 or 10 got injured as terrorism or said they were terrorists. But you put it in basically in domestic terroristic terms. I've never heard that before referred to crime. And and I think that happened. Uh, I think the prime minister used that term out of an attempt to show that she was serious about what was happening about it. She was dealing with the gravity
Ah,
of such. But the use of, you see that again where you do not have a written speech. you lapse into terms, you use words that do not represent exactly what you mean. And I think that made me sit up and think, if I were a tourist about every country in the world has crime to one degree or another. So a report on crime is different when it talks about a report of crime in the context of crime being committed by terrorists, or right, equivalent to domestic terrorism in Barbados. I think that is a I think it was a mistake or the unfortunate slip. Oh, sorry, it's not slip. It was an unfortunate utterance on the part of the Prime Minister that we might have to live with the consequences. Here's the Prime Minister, not the Attorney
So,
General,
Mr.
not the
Murray,
Commissioner of
don't
Police.
pass on that one. So we're saying, because I was surprised. Normally, you would see travel advisory would be issued for Jamaica, for Trinidad, places like St. Lucia, but not Barbados. But I saw it today that there was a travel advisory issued for Barbados from the UK, and I was wondering to myself, I said, I wonder what could have triggered it. But you are thinking it could be because she used the term domestic terrorism.
Yeah, she used to not domestic. She linked what happened in that street as part of as terrorism. Domestic terrorism would be to describe to be would be to paraphrase it. But she did not herself say domestic terrorism. But in the context in which it was said, it had to amount as domestic terrorism because it was related to a domestic shooting situation in Nelson Street where three people were killed on the spot in person. So the context would amount to domestic terrorism. See what I mean?
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, we're going to show that because sometimes, people want to see. And for those of you don't know, but Barbados is now on that. There's an advisory being given to tourists. In terms of them traveling to Barbados, and one would know that if this were had happened in when they were in opposition, this would be a big issue. But it is real. There is an
Uh,
advisory.
and the point is that Britain, UK is still our major source market. For years, we've done very well out of Britain. We've been a favorite stomping ground for the British as well as America, and it goes back from history for the 17th century. England has a lot of connection historically and economically with Britain. So that is our maybe we have a lot of direct flights from UK, from British Airways, by Virgin, then their charter flights. So that's so if the use of that term and linked to a travel advisory, that can have impact on the readiness and willingness of the British market, which has always trusted Barbados and come to Barbados as second home. That, don't forget, we were once called, they were so comfortable that they dubbed us Little England. And some people dubbed us Little England. So that reputation, that feeling of support and at ease might have been injured by the use of that term. See what I
That
mean?
is, yeah, that's something else. They're telling me I'm echoing. I'm not sure. Dave could tell me if he hears me echoing. But to continue, Mr. Murray.
So I thought there'd be I thought that's an interesting series of events. And I always believe that events are always connected to each other in some form or fashion. Nothing happens out of the blue, but it happens because something has caused it to happen and it impacts on others. It's a chain reaction throughout life. And I think that was an interesting phase that we went through with the Prime Minister's address to the nation. Um, Use of the term terrorism or terrorist to relate to Nelson Street shooting, slaughter, mass killing, uh, and I think that we have the British travel advisory. Hopefully, we hope that Canada doesn't pick it up and America doesn't pick up, and then we have a snowball effect affecting the prospects of our tourism industry. Um,
I mean, and this is the thing that I would love. I don't know if I'm still echoing, but I would love. When I speak, let me turn off your mic, and then I put it back on when I'm finished. I just would love for people to really be able to see things for what they are, to understand that yes, nobody hates the PM. You know, for sure, I don't hate the PM, but when you look and you see what is happening in the country, and you see her, you know, making mistakes like this, when you see the country is now put on an advisory list. As a Jamaican born in Jamaica, I understand what that means. I understand what that means. And you know, it's going to take a lot to change people's minds. Once they see that, they're going to always question whenever they're traveling. They're going to always question whether they should come, right? So I think that we need to really look at things for what they are, and stop saying that people don't like the PM, right? You know, that kind of well thought out speech and the way it was presented and so on, that's the kind of care, you know, Mr. Murray, that we want to see of our prime minister, the prime minister that the people voted for twice. We don't want to see your best on the world stage. We want to see your best at home. That is really what we want, you know. But continue, Mr. Murray.
Um,
Okay, hold a minute. Okay, unmute. Go ahead and unmute, Mr. Murray. Yes, go
yeah,
ahead. Yeah.
I'd like to say that, in my estimation, the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Molly, has traveled more in 6 years than probably the prime ministers put together. And she traveled by private jet. In past, you could track a prime minister's travel because they went on schedules, largely on schedules, flight at the airport, the world to see. But with the private jet situation, they can be anywhere, anytime, at any time, and there's no, because I think the prime minister is part of a syndrome of celebrity politics, where she travels with a communications social media director, Mr. I forget his name now. He Wherever she goes, and so you're always, it's like catering your Facebook page or your WhatsApp, what we call it, where everything you do is covered instantly. You're in the news, etc. That is why it costs a lot. That does not automatically do anything for a Barbie. And that's for your celebrity image, but it doesn't do it for your productivity in Barbados. And I'm told, you talk about people say you don't like, I am told I don't like the prime minister. Like you, I don't have time, I don't have to waste time not to like the prime minister or anybody. I judge the prime minister. Most people would know, most of the general public would know the prime minister as a public figure. They meet her at a meeting, but I've been around her. I've seen her perform as a minister, etc. For nearly 9 years. I've dealt with her in strictly political activities at the party, so I know her well, and I know her track record. So my critiques, my criticism, my evaluation are always based on how I've seen her perform. Also based on what I've seen other people who preceded her, either in the BLP or the perform. And
Mm.
that's the standard how I judge them, because um, no one of the reasons which I think, which I know, which purpose in the public service told me very discreetly, because they're afraid to be pinpointed, is that one of the reasons why the public service is such a mess, and they say that there are often decisions and appointments to be made and posts to be filled sitting on the prime minister's desk. For the longest time, they cannot be done easily unless she delegates her, because not enough attention is being paid to as an the civil service is one of the biggest, used to be the biggest employer in Barbados. So how
Mm.
could you not have somebody? That's the reason why I was in charge of it day by day for nearly 9 years, because in part to keep it going. And therefore, this traveling, it's hard to travel and get an award, but in the final analysis, all policies know how much does it advance Barbados' interest. It is
Yeah.
not some.
Just hold a
Go ahead.
second, Mr. Murray, just to point people, because we want to show the facts that Barbados is they're using back the same term, terrorism, you see, and this is on the website, the UK Travel Advisory website, and they're saying that the crime, there have been an increase I'm sorry, I said terrorism, sorry, crime. You have to go under crime. I'm sorry, right? They said that there have been an increase of violent crimes in Barbados, okay? And so on, murders and so on and so forth. So you can check it out yourself, but we are now on.
Also, I remember reading terrorism. It does use the term, if you look closely, it does
Yes,
use it, right? It does mention terrorism in the act that advisory.
yes, that's true. You're correct. You're correct,
What,
Mister.
what, 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 what does it say about terrorism in order to be fair? Can you read exactly what it says? Can you see?
Let me. I have to read it on here. They said, although there's no recent history of terrorism in Barbados, attacks cannot be ruled out.
Okay.
And that is because again, although there's no recent history of terrorism in Barbados, attacks cannot be ruled out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never heard that term before, uh, used before, and that is that although there was no recent history, like I said, and therefore I thought, but it does, the mere fact they thought it important to mention terrorism, because I don't remember that term being used in other British adversaries or even US adversaries or Canadian adversaries, because it had never been mentioned in a public forum by the highest ranking public official in government in Barbados. But we will
Yeah.
have to live with the consequences of that uh, as a matter of public discourse, as a matter of public happening. We'll have to wait and see.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to ask all of us that's on tonight. Um, we know, and one of the reasons I believe that Miss Motley was given the prime ministership twice in a row. Let me turn off Mr. Murray's mic. I think somehow there is an issue when the two of us are on. Um, it's primarily because she has a gift of gab. She could talk, she could sell, and as they said, what would Mr. Franklin say, salesman, he called her something, another salesman. But she could speak and she could command a room. It is a fact. She Mr. She can network. She could do a lot of that, and she has a presence, and she fills the room, and she's a people's person, and I will never take that away from Miss Martley. Those are good qualities.
But,
The
but
challenge that, yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'd also give her that those plaudits, that distinction. By defined analysis, one has to be judged. I don't remember who said it. Some very famous man once said, "I rather be told well something was well done rather than it was well said. I'd rather be told what you did was well done, well said, well spoken, because in a fight analysis, a person has to be judged by their achievements, by the quality of the decision making, which reflects the quality of your thought, quality of your judgment, rather than the quality of your speeches, right? Because unless they translate, we are still very much in the throes of an MF program.
Yeah,
We
but
still
but you
jump
know,
ball and sad.
Mr. Murray, if because we only have another minute or so, if I can just say something here, and I really want to say this, we will have some time at the end to speak about this, because we'll have people call in. Easy D, it's so funny because you were saying that Fronda Stewart came across as a butler. Can I take your hat and coat, sir? And I think that that's that's quite interesting for you to say that, because this Fronda Stewart is such a very intelligent man. I remember I brought some filmmakers and some producers from HBO to Barbados, and they heard Mr. Fronda Stewart speaking, and the comment was, "What an intelligent man." That was the comment. And I want to say that, yes, Mr. Stewart did not come across as flashy and outgoing, etc. But you know what? He was a doer. and we can rattle off things that Mr. Frondel Stewart has done. And you can all stone me because I know some people don't want to hear his name mentioned. But I dare you, I dare anybody make a list of domestically of what Miss Motley has done and compare it to what Mr. Stewart has done. Compare it to what Owen Arthur has done. Compare it to what Tom Adams has done. Compare it domestically. Put it down on paper. Yes, she could outtalk all of them. She could outspeak all of them, yes. But we're talking here about actions. Look at the state of the country. Yeah? Look at the state of the country. And Mr. Murray, you have the last word on this, and we have our other guests who are coming in.
Okay. All right. I just want to say I join you in. And some of the point I'll say more on this on why he said it. Join you in commend. Mrs. Troy has always been a very decent, honorable, dignified, respectful person in his role and in other person. And I think you could talk about he's not a great communicator, but as an individual, he had a persona that I've never heard anybody that said he was involved in any corruption and he's stealing, etc. And I thought that comment you read by ECD is a very disgusting, demeaning statement, because Mr. Stewart has never hid the fact that his mother was, I think it was a maid or something like that. So it's very humble beginnings. But look at what he's risen to, right? So to use that analogy about their butler, I thought
it's awful.
ECD,
That is very awful. It's very awful.
It's typical of this elitist, this new brand of elitism in Barbados. And Barbados is the worst for it. But I will speak more of that on another time.
Yes, and I, it's a very rude comment and very terrible to call him that. And you know what? You know the other thing about this, and so he's talking about being trapped in mental slavery. It was this prime minister who was going to purchase the land from the slave owner. This to me, when you compare EZD, and I know that you are not able, like I am able to say what I like about the prime minister and what I don't like. You're not able to do that. You, as far as you are concerned, she's the best prime minister that Barbados, has ever had. All we're asking you is to put the proof and to talk about mental slavery. Who else? Who exhibits more mental slavery than Mia Motley, who goes around and begs every country? The only negotiation she does is begging and borrowing. That is mental slavery more than any leader in the entire Caribbean. So I'm not sure what he's talking about.
On the question of mental slavery, I just like to make the point that the prime minister, she was elected in 2018, and for Dom, you have independence orders in November, and then their New Year's honor from Buckingham Palace in January or so, right? And but these New Year honors are recommended by Barbados. And who got New Year's honors in 2019? Her father and mother from Buckingham Palace, not out of the guts of the Barbadian imagination. So talk about mental slavery, talk about connection to your old slave masters or whatever.
Yeah, people are saying they can't hear me. Can you hear me, Mr. Murray?
Yeah, I'm hearing you very well. No problem at all.
I wonder why people are not hearing me. But we need to come back to this because I think that that this is a very interesting topic. But we've got to move on. Okay, people are saying they can't hear me. All right, so we're going to make sure the guests have their full hour because we're going to talk about the water. We're going to talk about St. Lucie. And so we have with us Mr. ALVIN TOPPIN. And I'm not sure if he's ready as yet. And we have with us Reverend John Carter. So I'm waiting for Mr. TOPPIN to be ready to bring him into the studio. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm not. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think he's. Yeah. No. Okay, I'm going to keep your microphone off, Mr. Murray, because there is some interference whenever the both two mics are on. Um, and so Mr. Toppin is not quite ready yet, it seems. I need to get some indication. Well, let me go to Mr. John Carter. Good night, Reverend Carter. How are you doing?
Very, a very good night to you, your listeners. I always say when people ask me that, I say I'm doing better and better. But that's a spiritual response. Over the weekend, I had I caught what Bajans call a fresh cold. You know, when the boy used to you get a cold, you get a fresh cold. So I'm dealing with that. You know, but apart from
Yes,
that, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thankful.
yes, yes. I My microphone is muted. People are still not hearing me?
I saw some people
No,
responding to say that they were hearing you quite well.
no, it's something is wrong with yours. Somebody's messaging me from overseas. No. I'm being heard. So I think you might have to check your system to see what is happening. Okay. Yes, well, I was listening to you. I hope you do feel better.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I see Mr. Toppin is here in his bright yellow shirt. Good evening, Mr. Toppin.
Hi, good evening, Marcia. Good evening,
I,
John Wesley. Good evening,
I
Mr.
hope
Murray.
I hope that shirt is gold rather than yellow.
Well, yes, it is gold.
Wonderful.
Yes, it's beautiful. Well, I want to welcome these two gentlemen. I think there should be a third one, and Mr. Toppin will send me a message to let me know if the third person is coming. But I want to welcome you both to the Marcia Week show. I know this is Mr. Toppin's first time, and we just want to give you a very big welcome to the show. And I know that you are a man on a mission. There's a lot that you have going on in St. Lucie. Now, let me just officially say that Mr. Alvin Toppin is the spokesperson for the Democratic Labour Party. And we're having quite a few of those spokespersons coming onto the show. We want to let anybody know, anybody from other parties, you can contact us. It just happened that they're the ones contacting us. We're not hearing anything from Solutions Barbados, neither from UPP. They have never contacted us. I have tried to contact them, and they hardly come on. But the platform is open for anybody, really. Okay, so but I just wanna say that up front. So, Mr. Toppin, I just want to congratulate you on the work you have been doing in St. Lucie. And Mr.
Thank you.
Carter is a resident of St. Lucie. Did I get that correct?
Yes, a newbie.
A newbie.
Yes, I've only been here as a resident for about 3 months now.
About 3 months. About 3 months. Well, Mr. Toppin, you actually grew up in as a child. You originated, as you like to put it, you say to me, from St. Lucie. Can you tell us about those boyhood days? How was it in St. Lucie?
I firmly believe that St. Lucie is the best parish in the world. We did the things that boys do: play sports, ride bicycles. In those days, we kind of made our own fun, our own toys. Rollers and pushers and box carts, and going to the beach, roasting fish, roasting breadfruit, the things that boys of that time would do.
So it was a wonderful. You had a wonderful childhood in St. Lucie, and
Yeah,
I
I
think
can't, I can't complain about it at all. And one of the things I found that was very instrumental, I should say, in making me the person I am today was the role of the extended family. So it's like every weekend or whenever you used to go by your grandparents or your grandmother. So that was kind of pivotal in my development as well.
In St. Lucie. We like to drive out when we're driving out, we're in St. Philip. So for a long drive, of course, we drive to St. Lucie, and it's always good, to drive through, etc. But as a child, living in St. Lucie, did yes, you had a great childhood, but talk to me about the water situation, because some people said that this has been going on from they were children. This issue with not having enough water, and also having water that that's with rust, right? As we're now calling tint water. So talk to me about that. Was that part of your childhood as well?
Well, I would have basically grown up with my aunt in St. Peter, but I used to spend my holidays with my mother in St. Lucie. So from my recollection, the water would go off from time to time, but it wasn't, from my recollection, personal recollection, it wasn't as the situation is now. So I can't say that, yes, this particular issue may have been going on for years, but back then I don't recollect having these types of water issues. And sometimes when the water went off and you had to go and bathe by the standpipe, we used to enjoy that. There are people who say if you ain't bathe unless you bathe at the standpipe.
So you used to go and bathe at the standpipe?
Yeah, when the water went off.
Yes. Wow. No, let me go to Mr. Carter. So you just moved to St. Lucie,
Yes.
3 months ago. What is your experience like with the water in St. Lucie?
Well, it's interesting that Miss Motley talked about tint. I know that is the term they use to describe the water in St. Lucie. But let me say that initially I wasn't aware of the situation because we were building the house, so it meant that construction going on, there's really no need for me to drink water down here and so on. But after I moved in, I I was catching water from a kitchen faucet, and realized that I was catching water in one of those drink bottle, Coke bottle. I realized that what was in the bottle looked kind of darkish. So then,
I love the way you put it. It had a tint.
yes, it had a tint. It had a tint. So then, I also had a container with water that we had got from the water tank. So I went and filled another bottle with water from that container and raised it. The two things were like chocolate, well, not chocolate cheese, but the two things were the stark contrast, right? So I used to keep those bottles on my sink just so I would have, I'd be reminded that at some point this water would clear. Now, it didn't. So what we did is that we went, sorry?
It didn't clear up, because I know sometimes it would settle and go to the bottom. It didn't clear up.
No, it did not. So what we did is that we went and bought some water filters. We bought water filters and we placed them. In fact, we placed a filter at the where the water comes up from the meter, and the government meter. We placed a filter there, and then we placed filters underneath our kitchen sink. We placed filters water going into the refrigerator. Ma'am, no change. No change whatsoever.
So hold a minute. So let's I like to slow it down a bit. So you're saying, because some people say, well, you could get a filter, and you've just moved. Those of you who are just joining, Mr. Carter, Reverend Carter, has just moved to St. Lucie in the last 3 months, and he's saying that he's having a culture shock, and he got a filter, and the filter didn't help. I don't understand it. I thought the filter is supposed to help.
Well, that's what we thought too. So let's make clear for something. We have 3 filters on our water system. One where the water exits the water meter, that Barbados Water Authority has next to the road. You have a filter there. We have a filter for the water coming to our kitchen faucet. And then we also have a filter that for water coming to the refrigerator. Because the truth is, Marcia, I was so excited. We bought a new fridge, and so now you're going to be able to get fresh, you get cold water coming in the fridge. You got ice and in different forms going in the fridge. And what behold, blam, we can't get it done because the water coming to the fridge is dirty.
Wow.
Now, Marcia, I am glad that John Wesley mentioned filters. I actually sent you a video that I posted on my TikTok a few months ago. It's gotten over.
I'm looking for that.
I sent you back the link.
You sent it back. Okay, so we're going to get it up. Go ahead, describe it.
Right, that video has gotten over 30,500 views.
Wow.
And it is a video of a resident in St. Lucie actually showing his filter after, I can't remember if he said 2 days or 2 weeks. But when you show that video, then you would get the extent of the issue to which John Wesley is referring.
You know, I saw someone was putting up, must have been the same thing that I saw. Dave, you have it now. Dave could put it up.
And then Mark, there's also another video I sent you within the last 2 weeks of the water in Connell Town. So you may want to show that as well. I sent you 2 links.
Okay, so Dave, the second video that you have, the second TikTok is actually the one that we're going to play first, because I saw that, Mr. Toppin, and I know someone said to me, but is that Barbados? They were wondering, and then they were saying, you know, is that really a filter? That people were doubting it. So, and you're saying that it is true?
Yes, that is a resident from St. Lucie. I think, I can't remember the exact area, but I believe it could have been somewhere around Chance Hall, but don't quote me on that one. But that is a resident of St. Lucie, and it really, really shows the level of the problem and the frustration for the residents, because the residents, they're frustrated, Marcia, in going around and chatting with people. You can hear the obvious frustration. It's putting a bit of a financial challenge on people. You have to buy filters. You have to buy bottled water to cook and to drink, you know, because you need potable water. And then, as I said in the statement I would have put out last Saturday evening, the elderly, how do they physically lug with bottles and buckets of water from the community tanks? I actually spoke with an engineer as well. He sent me some really good information.
Before you go any further, Mr. Toppin, let's because I know you've done a lot of research on this. Dave, can we play this? Because I want, there are some people who are saying, Mr. Carter as well, there's some people who are saying that, well, you know, they never had any brownish, any tinted water in St. Lucie. Somebody said, I went to school in St. Lucie in 1977, and they never saw dirty water when they went to school there for 6 years. So we'll come back to that. But this is somebody that's currently living in St. Lucie, and this is their filter. Go ahead and play, Dave. Thank you.
Look at what we getting here. Look, this filter was on 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, this is what they're sending for me as water in St. Lucie. This is a water filter on the incoming water into my house from the Barbados Water Authority, and this is what the Barbados Water Authority is sending for me. And we paying a water bill every month, every single month, with taxes. I don't want to talk the water bill, and this is what we getting to drink.
Wow, that is very serious, Mr. Toppin.
Yeah, it really is. And as the public would know, the Barbados Water Authority put out a communique last week advising residents to boil their water. and they said that we'll be testing water. And when you hear an authority saying that they're going to be testing water, it means that there's a possibility that the water could have implications for people's health. So it is really a big issue for the folks in St. Lucie. What I garner from speaking to people as well, Marcia, is that there's no real communication from the authorities to the residents on the matter. Because if you were to do a poll, just ask the question, what do you believe to be the issue? You're going to get several different answers. I'm sure if you ask John Wesley what he thinks the issue is, he will give you an answer. And if you ask other residents, they will give you different answers. But like I said, I spoke to an engineer who I would say is a trusted source. And he basically identified the issue. And he sent me some really good information just before he came on the show. With respect to what is causing the issue. But I would suggest that you let residents write in or call in and say what they think the issue is. And then they will go ahead and tell you from his engineering perspective what the issue is.
Yes.
If I could come in here, there are a couple of situations. But let me go back to the communique that came from the Ministry of Health. When I heard it, I said to myself, this world is totally out of touch with what's going on in St. Lucie. Because you can't boil dirty water and make it clean, make it drinkable. So the put out a communication, I say to the people in St. Lucie, boil the water before you use it. If the water has dirt already, no amount of boiling is going to clear it up. All you're doing is boiling dirty water, you know. So my conclusion was he is totally out of touch with what's happening in St. Lucie. But let me talk to you a bit about what I gathered from somebody who is knowledgeable about what is happening in St. Lucie. We have two lines. We have a main line and a distribution line. The distribution line is what residents get water from. The main line is what comes from the main source for water for consumers. So what is happening is that the distribution line that comes to your home, the distribution line that comes to my home is that blue line that is presently used.
Yes.
And then it goes into the meter fixture that the Barbados Water Authority has, and then it exits to my PVC pipe. So here's part of the issue as I see it. The water meter fixture is made of iron. And if you go, you can go and check them. They're made of iron, and that iron is rusted. So here's what's happening. I don't think Barbados Water understand this. So you can have water coming from the distribution line. This is the yellow line to the water meter. You can have clean, potable water coming from the distribution line to the water meter. Clean, good water. But when it gets to the water meter, it goes into a fixture that's made of iron that's rusted on the inside. So when this clean water has come, exits from the meter fixture to the PVC pipe, though it exits as dirty water. So I do not think that the Barbados Water Authority understands that is part of the problem down here. The second thing about the water is that the government is sending water tankers through the district on a regular basis. So I'm not just doing that. And they got the big tanks that they fill up and so on. But there's no. I called the Barbados Water Authority some time ago to ask what is the schedule for the water tankers coming through.
Okay.
Because you have people who have business to transact. I can't sit in my house all day, 24/7, for 7 days a week, hoping the tank will come. So if there was a schedule that you knew, okay, on this particular day, during this particular period, even if you can't specify the specific time, but on this particular day, the water tanker is going to come through to give you water then you can adjust your business accordingly. But you don't have that information. I called Barbados Water Authority to ask what is the schedule for the tankers coming through. The woman told me that they're in a schedule that when the drivers come in on mornings, then the supervisor or the person who does that tells them where to go. I mean, this is so lame. You would expect that you'll be told the day before, the evening before you knock off, you will be told, okay, tomorrow when you come in, this is your schedule. But no, the woman tell me that they do that the morning that the driver's coming. So they could not give me a schedule for when these water tankers are coming. And they come at all kinds of hours of the day. Some come at night. And I'm not complaining to tanker fellas, but I guess there's schedules that they're working to. But again, I do not know when they come. So sometimes I'm in here and I want water, and I'm saying, I think I hear something outside. When I get up and look out, yeah, there's a tank out there. So what I've had to do is that I place the container that I'm going to catch the water in. I put it on my patio on a chair. So when the tank comes down, the driver and the second man will see my water container outside and know that I want water. So they will then blow the horn and so on to assist me. But that's the problem. There's no schedule that you can access. And then the water comes out of the water meter is dirty. That's part of the problem. Now it is. Look, I went on brass tacks. Let me say it up front. I am not a calling program person. The first time in my life I have ever gone for a lot of calling programs have been running about. The first time in my life I've ever gone on a calling program is since I moved to St. Lucie. I went on 3 programs. I went to talk about this issue in St. Lucie. When I went on the Wednesday program at a radio station, I'm not going to call it, but I went on the Wednesday program on a radio station, and the man just listened to me. He listened to me. If I talk for 2 minutes, he listened for the entire 2 minutes. If I talk for 10 minutes, he listened for the entire 10 minutes. And when it was finished, he asked me a question. He said, "You've articulated what you had to say very well." I'm off the phone. Okay, so now the Thursday now, a cousin of mine called and told me, now this man who was on the radio on Thursday engaged a bit more. So I came in on Thursday and I talked about it. I was told, again, I went off the phone. I was told that after I was on that program, that somebody, I'm not going to call the person's name because I wasn't there here, but this radio host called somebody at Barbados Water Authority, the person, and engaged them on the issue down here in St. Lucie. Listen to me, and these are facts that I'm going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that man said, one of the things that authority at Barbados Water Authority said, is that this problem with the water in St. Lucie is listen to me carefully, this is word, is a 5 to 10 year problem. You know what I'm saying? 5 to 10 years is going to take for them to sort out this matter. You know how many people died from that in that period of time? Listen.
This is the Barbados Water Authority is saying this.
Yes, this is the person from the Barbados Water Authority who said it's going to take 5 to 10 years to correct the problem down here. So I went, Google is helpful in many things. So I Googled pneumonia. If I Google rusty water in pipes, and they say that over 750,000 people die every year from rusty water in pipes that causes pneumonia. So I said, well, if you're going to solve this, if it's going to take 5 to 10 years to solve it, but half the people in solution will be dead. Anyhow, so that was his solution. That's what he said. Okay. The host of that program asked me, what would you recommend to be done to solve this problem? I said, one of the things that the government can do is that the government can provide the big tanks for everybody who don't have one. These are 450-gallon tanks for everybody who doesn't have one. And let them pay, if necessary, let them pay for the tank over a period of time. But what would happen is that they will have a larger volume of water available at all times. So here's the situation with me. Right now, I bathe with dirty water, tinted water, Miss Motley's word. I bathe with tinted water. That's on. I have a skin problem. So to bathe with dirty water is a problem. I wash my clothes with that dirty water in my washing machine. That's a problem. I wash my dishes without dirty water in the sink.
Wow.
That's a problem. That's a problem. And I don't think the government understands that we have a serious health problem down here with this water situation. I call the Prime Minister's office, Marcia. I call the Prime Minister's office. Spoke someone. I'm not going to call the man's name. I spoke someone. I told him what the situation was. I suggested to him that maybe the government can make those big tanks, 450-gallon tanks or larger, available to the people down here and let them pay them off. He took my information, and to his credit, subsequently, somebody from the Barbados Authority came to my home to talk with me and to make an assessment of my situation. The guy told me he would recommend that I get 2 of the tanks. That's it. That's what he said. He's going to recommend that they give me or provide me 2 of the tanks. That was on the 28th of August. Excuse me. Now, I went back and checked my phone. That was on the 28th of August. I have heard nothing from anybody on that matter since then. And listen, I am quite prepared to pay for the tanks. I am quite prepared to pay for the 2 tanks. But get me something that gets me clean water. I cannot continue. Look, here's another thing that concerns me. You have people whose work clothes are white. How are they, and they have washing machines, how are they washing their work clothes? They got to take some laundry or someplace. So you're paying for service that you should be getting good water, but you're not getting it. You got to go and spend more money elsewhere to get the service that you need. So that's a problem. That's a problem. So I ask myself, how is it that the people in St. Lucie have suffered with this so long and they're not doing anything about it? I mean, my feeling is that they should be protesting left, right, and center, as we say down here about this matter. They should be marching. They should be marching. They should not be taking this sitting down. And the other thing too, Marcia, is that nobody from the government side, not a single soul from the government side, has come down here, in my knowledge, in my time, to talk to people about this water situation. You cannot get anybody to come. The political representative, you can't see him. He's not holding any meetings. The Prime Minister who calls meetings and has to be in everything, you can't hear her either. So you have a serious health issue down here with water, and nobody from the government has come to talk to the people to tell them what solutions will be implemented to correct this thing to happen.
But my goodness, Mr. Carter, well said. And Mr. Carter, this is Reverend Carter, and he has just moved to St. Lucie in the last 3 months. Can you imagine, like there is Mr. Strickland, I wish he would call in when it's time to call in, Mr. Strickland and others who have lived there for all of their lives. Now, I'm looking here, Mr. Toppin, on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, right? There are 17 of them, okay? And our Prime Minister was just at the UN. And I'm thinking, I mean, the number 6 in this of the Sustainable Development Goals says clean water and sanitation. That is one of the goals, and it's a right. Water, clean water. That's a basic for any country, any developing country. We should not be, and to listen to Mr. Carter and where the Barbados Water Authority, and we have to remember that the Prime Minister is a minister that is over water. Is responsible for water.
Absolutely.
And this is why I'm saying, yes, give her credits, give her the kudos. The woman is a good speaker. She can work a room. She's all of these different things. But when it comes on to management, there is a problem. Now, if you're going to tell me that at the Barbados Water Authority, they cannot give a schedule. A schedule, Barbadians, listen. A schedule. It's not that they don't have water and they don't have a truck, but it's to schedule when the water is going to come so people can plan their lives. The question is, what kinds of government could care about people and leave them in a situation like that? Let Mr. Toppin, can you shed some light send some more light on this situation? Okay, sorry, you were muted. Yes, go right ahead. Repeat what you
No,
said.
I said you just made a very valid point, but it all goes back to my concern about lack of communication with the residents. That is a major issue. And when you have these types of issues, you have to communicate with your public. Also, you must remember, Marcia, that the current administration rode into power talking about integrity legislation, transparency, and accountability. I am not seeing it in this particular case. As Mr. Carter alluded to, the MP for the area, non-existent. You're not hearing anything from the government, and the water authorities' communication seems not to be good as well. But I want to go back to the point that Mr. Carter made about the distribution line, right? Now I have a document here, Marcia, dated October 30th, 2015. It is a Barbados Water Authority document.
This is 2015. You said 2015?
2015. So it says, It says here, it is estimated that more than 23% of the total length of mains in the distribution system are cast irons. These mains were assembled using a series of individual cast pipes, which were coupled together using lead jointing, which created the potential for leakage. Although the ductile iron replacement pipes improved the mechanism for joining the pipes, they did not carry the appropriate interior protective lining, which is now known to extend the life of the pipeline. The lack of the protective lining on the ductile iron created the potential for serious corrosion problems within the pipes, most times resulting in discolored water. So that can give a little bit of legitimacy and credibility to what Mr. Carter said about the distribution line. But I also saw a question from Mr. Stephen Strickland. He said, if discolored water is from all pipes, why are other parishes not having discolored water or something along that line? From my understanding and from the information that I have, the main issue with the water in St. Lucie is an issue at the source of the water. So I'm just going to read a bit from some information I received, and this is from an engineer. The concerned residents of St. Lucie have suffered in recent months from unprecedented potable water crisis from a defective water well or aquifer at Allendale, St. Lucie. It was suggested that the well was compromised during cleaning, resulting in damage to the coral stone layer of the aquifer. The resultant problem is that the well, during pumping, has resulted in water flowing from the well with the color and consistency shown below. And this is a photo that's circulating heavily on social media, showing the tint in the water. Sadly, my document is in black and white. So I'm aware as well that a filtration system was also implemented, right? And apparently that was done.
Mr. Toppin, let me have you let me break it down. Let's break it down. So August 30, 2015, that report from that engineer is saying that
that's not a report from an engineer. That is a Barbados Water Authority report. I was just using the information there to show that what Mr. Carter is talking about, the distribution line, could be part of the problem. What I am reading now and what I'm putting out there now, this is the main source of the problem. And it was also explained to me by an associate from the Water Authority.
Oh, so the aquifer. Right? So while the pipes could be well, it is said there based on that report from the same BWA.
That's part of the problem, but the main source of the problem is the water is bad from the source. So if the water is bad from the source, it doesn't matter what type of pipe you run it through, it's going to be discolored.
Right.
So apparently a filtration system was implemented or installed August 2024, and this guy is saying the filtration system has failed due to clogging of the filters, as is evident from the above photo, and he sent another photo. The continued problem of brown water, which is a mixture of fine clear particles with the groundwater, will continue until 1, a new source of water is found. 2, an efficient filtration system is provided for this aquifer and well. 3, a desalt water plant provides water for the people in St. Lucie. 4, the NRW department, that is non-revenue water. That just means water that's in the system that you don't earn money from, leakages, people with illegal connections, those types of things. An NRW, non-revenue water department, established in 2015, should be provided with the tools and equipment to analyze the St. Lucie district metering areas, locate all the water loss in the system, and effectively address a mains replacement program started in 2016. This is a long-term solution. 5, enhance the testing of water delivered by the Barbados Water Authority trucks to ensure that the people of St. Lucie receive the highest quality water. The results of these tests should be made known to residents.
My goodness.
So it's kind of like a dual problem. You got the water at the source, and you have some of the pipes and the distribution line, like Mr. Carter alluded to, that can actually contribute to the problem. But the main problem is the water from source. Now I asked the person, what are the sources of water for St. Lucie? Apparently Allendale is the main source for St. Lucie. There's also a reservoir at Half Acre. But the source of the water going to that reservoir is not Allendale. So that could explain why some people, depending on the source of their water, may have better quality water than other people. But I'm getting the impression that the main source is the aquifer at Allendale. Now,
so let me ask you something. Because there are some people who are saying that they're not experiencing this issue. What is the percentage of people who are experiencing the tint water in St. Lucie?
Unfortunately, I do not have that information. I cannot give you an exact percentage, but it seems to be in quite a few districts. And I would encourage the residents, if you're listening to the show, to make your comments and let us know where you're having the issues with the water, which areas. But I do not have that specific.
That would be good. Percentage. That would be good to hear. Let me see. There is a caller here. Somebody keep calling. Let me just see. It's 9 o'clock. Just hang on. Let me see. Good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Good night.
I'm a resident of St. Lucie.
You're a resident of St. Lucie. Can you hear him, Alvin?
He's quite low, but I will make do. That's fine.
He's low. Okay, so can you speak up a little bit more, please? Thank you.
Yes, I'm saying I'm a resident of St. Lucie. I live in Pike Corner, to be exact.
You're living in Pike Corner. Thank you so much for calling, caller. And are you having, you're in Pike Corner, are you having any problems with your water?
Water problems. You get water sometimes that you can't even bathe with.
Wow. Explain.
Sometimes the water stinks. It smells nasty. It smells. You turn on the pipe and you shower and you step back out because it smells ridiculous. It smells like dirty water sometimes, that kind of stuff. And this has been going on for years.
For years?
Yes.
Can you said years? Can you recall how many years? And there's a reason, because you know, they're saying that the water smelling stink could be as a result of what Mr. Toppin is saying. The source, the source is bad. That is now more than rust. So how long ago have you been experiencing that stinking water?
Well, it doesn't happen every day, but sometimes more so than others, right? Sometimes when they turn on the pipe, it is orange juice, and next time it may be Morby, and next time it will be grapefruit juice. So it comes in different colors, and it comes with different scents. Yeah, I if you come at me, I don't have public clothes because it makes no sense. It makes no sense buying anything white because we cannot wash it. It makes no sense. Sometimes the water coming through in the washing machine looks nice and clear, and by the time it's ready to rinse, the water looks like mud. So it is not easy, and you're paying a water bill. You have to buy water, and let me just say something about the same tankers and truckers. My brother stopped a trucker, I think it was in COVID, to get some water. And the man till he came back. My brother still waiting for you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is the kind of thing that you have to go through when you live, I guess, in near areas and places that people in high authority don't care anything about. Because this was going on too long. They had a project at the Hope, which was supposed to help with the water. Now, well, I see Chinese men doing some things over there. I don't know what it's doing. Because we don't know Chinese. So, that apparently gone through the others. But we in St. Lucie are suffering and paying water bills. And the only thing that the water can do is to wet flowers. Because I don't even believe that you should put that water to the plants that you want, the vegetables that you want to eat.
Yeah.
I am serious. I am really serious. This is not, and I'm not exaggerating. This is not good. And I saw Alvin said something about the elderly and water tanks, and I can totally agree with him. You know, and the other day they were talking about the schedule. Well, it's clear they don't have a schedule because the people will be all over the place. Sometimes you may in bed at 11 o'clock and you hear the truck. So you will have to scramble up to get water if you want water, if you're fortunate. But by the time you get out, the truck going. You understand? And I don't blame the truck driver, I blame the authority. Because if I am working for you and I give you a rate, and I say, listen, between 8 and 8, use the service this way, it means that if you stop at house number 10, you should start at house number 11 when you come back to service your way.
Right.
And people with more time, you will have some coming during the day where people are at home, and you will have some coming in the evening or in the, when people get home from work. But it is not a standard thing. Sometimes you hear and you see trucks passing up and down like ZRs. But hey, that's the issue.
My God. But let me ask you something, caller. I mean, I could hear the pain in his voice. And you know, this is where I want us as Barbadians to really begin to put yourself in the place of these people, these our other Barbadians who are living in St. Lucie and these other areas that are suffering. Because a lot of times, I see people on here making jokes about this. This cannot be funny. It's a health crisis. We are having a health crisis in St. Lucie. How are we going to wait till people drop down dead? Now, let me ask you something, sir. What should the people? What do you think the people of St. Lucie should be doing at this point?
Paying no water bills. That's the first thing.
Pay no water bills.
If I have to take my money and pay a water bill, and they still have to buy water to drink and to cook with, why am I paying a water bill? I am paying for a service that I can't use. It is not up to me. When I live, we don't have a kitchen garden that I can take the water and let vegetables. It is not fair. It is not fair. And then you have to buy water. You have to take it to a mountain. And people can make it much poor as they want. he who feeds it knows it.
Yes.
But see, you would see in other areas, when we say summer tobacco shit, the water go off for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then people holler from where they complain. If the water is off for 5 days or something, right? It becomes like a norm.
Mm-hmm.
So the practice for Lucy and Sophia, yes, it becomes a norm. And then when it comes back, it could have been definitely off for 10 years because it comes back and you have you.
Yes, yes,
some days
yes.
you get orange juice, some days you get grapefruit juice, some days you get pineapple juice. I've got some friends that would call me and say, listen, Mark, look at the juice you get when you take today. You know, and because look, it is not easy.
What would you want to say to the minister that is over water? What would you say to that minister if you could have a conversation?
Okay, let me say first. Let me follow you in opposition with you to fix every problem, right? Now they got a job, they're doing everybody else. I will tell you something. Nobody can do no worse for the people that service you. You should pack up and go out. Let somebody else choice. Honestly, it is not easy and it is unfair. It is unfair that you have to pay a bill with water you cannot use. And in my opinion, nobody really care about it because they turn on the pipe, makes crystal clear water coming out. And
yes.
And then to add insult to injury, they tell you boy nasty water. That makes no sense to me. It tells me that they think that the people from St. Lucia's stupid. Because if the water is brown and you boil it, it's not going to get clear. It's still going to be brown. So, hey,
yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Sir, I'm serious. I really hear that pain in your heart, and I hear what you said, because I know when the water goes off by me, you're waiting for it to come back, and then in your case, when it comes back, you still can't use it. So what's the point? But thank you for calling. There's another caller on the line. Thank you so much, sir. We're gonna try our best to see what we can help. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, there's another caller. They called twice, so let me try and get them back on because this is their time. I know that on right on the screen there you're seeing the sustainable development goals that are there on the screen, and this is what we want the Prime Minister to we would love for her to make this a priority. This needs to be a priority. The people are in St. Lucie are suffering. Her people are suffering. She needs to be seeing what she could do, about this. This has to happen. Yes, caller, good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good night.
Good night, ma'am. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Are you from St. Lucie?
Yes, I'm from St. Lucie.
Okay, where in St. Lucie?
I'm from Pike Corner.
From Pike Corner as well. Okay, thank you so much. And are you getting that tint in your water as well?
Yes, I'm getting the tint. I'm getting the pitch as well. I'm called to ask some questions.
Yes. Go right ahead, man.
Are we being used as the defense? Are we being used as a research project? Perhaps attach some new requirements? We are told to boil water recently. What has been found in the water recently to merit it? What are the possible industry for this prolonged usage of contaminated water? Is research being done on any possible health issues?
Mm.
Will there be compensation? Why can't water be redirected to St. Lucie? It seems as if we're back in the 1970s or so with buckets and bottles. Here are my recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
We need this situation fixed ASAP. And two, we should not have to pay for this water.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. You said thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, and I just want to know that we really empathize with what is happening with you, and for me this is not just a show. I really am hoping, looking for solutions to this issue, and we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep this issue in going, being highlighted. And as long as the citizens are ready, we are ready. But because we can't, we're going to push, but we need the citizens. Pie Corner, if you're listening, get ready, Pie Corner. If it is that we're not paying the water bill, we're not paying the water bill. It has to be everybody in Connelltown. I'm writing down the areas as they put it up. If you're write down the area that you live in and you're not getting any water, instead of write it down, please. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and for your recommendation.
Marcia, if they can make a comment here.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah. Now there are some pipes that were changed in St. Lucie in the Pike Corner area. I am told, again, this is reliable source which I cannot divulge, that or maybe this what came from the Environmental Authority. But anyhow,
one second, Mr. Carter. Just hang on. Give us 1 minute, and then we're going to come right to you, sir. Thanks for calling. Just hold on a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Carter, go ahead. Finish up, please.
Yes.
1 minute to finish up.
They say that it took 2 years to change out 1 kilometer of pipe. 2 years to change out 1 kilometer of pipe. And they have over 25 kilometers of pipe in St. Lucie that have to be fixed. So do the math. If it took 2 years to change up 1 kilometer, how long is it going to take to change up 25 kilometers? And $1 million. $1 million. So what the budget was for fixing these pipes when they started, if it's going to take 5 to 10 years, in 10 years, that budget, the cost of that would have quadrupled or quintupled or sextupled. So I don't understand why the government is not taking this thing seriously enough to accelerate what they have to do. That's all I want to say on that, man.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Carter. Go ahead, caller. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, and good night. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. Are you calling from St. Lucie?
Yes, I am.
And which town?
I'm from Allendale.
You're from Allendale. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. As it relates to the water situation here in St. Lucie, first of all, my water here in Allendale is clear. I don't have an issue with water here. However, I have a house in Content that is near the Crappel police station. And the water over there is tinted, very brown. I heard a caller earlier speaking about the well at Allendale.
Yes.
But I somehow do not believe that the problem is Allendale as well. And I'll tell you why. One, like I said, I live in Allendale. My water is not brown. If the pipe goes off, when it comes back on, it is brown for a while, then it clears up. However, apart from Allendale well, there is a well at half acre. Not a pumping or well, whatever, half acre. There is one also in the Josie Hill area close to where they had those wind turbines some years ago.
Yes.
I spoke to a resident from that Josie Hill area who says that their water is also brown. And their water comes from Boscabel. Although there's a reservoir close to them, their water comes from Boscabel, and it is very brown. Now, Mr. Strickland and the others who live in Cornelltown and those areas may very well be getting water from the half-acre reservoir. So the problem cannot be one reservoir if most of St. Lucie is affected by this. Where I live in Allendale is part of St. Lucie, but the well is actually in St. Peter because Allendale is right on the border between St. Lucie and St. Peter.
Okay.
And that Allendale well also provides water for people in St. Peter. So that is the reason why I said it may not be the Allendale well, but it has to be other wells in St. Lucie because people in Josie Hill get their water from the Boscabel well.
Yes.
I believe Cornelltown and those surrounding areas get their water from half acre. But all that is subject to question. But I'm just telling you where the reservoirs are, and the problem is all over St. Lucie. I am fortunate because I live right at the border of St. Peter, and I am not getting it here. But when I go by my other house across the road, I can't drink water there. If I go there, I have to take water there. It is very brown. And this problem really needs to be addressed by government.
Yes. Now let me ask you. Thank you so much for the clarity, and at least we know that there's one area, at least so far we know Allendale. He's not getting that problem in Allendale. But what do you think should be the solution to this problem? What would you say what are your recommendations for the people?
Well, first of all, let me say this. If this problem had existed in Sandy Lane, it would have been fixed long ago.
Okay.
We all know who live in Sandy Lane. If this is in other areas of Barbados, it would have been fixed long ago. There are people who seem to think that people in St. Lucie are stupid, but St. Lucie people are not stupid. As to the solution, I think government owes the people of St. Lucie the responsibility of not paying water, or if they do, government needs to provide every household in St. Lucie with a water tank at the cost of government.
Correct.
You cannot be paying for years. Let me tell you something. Crappel Police Station in 2022 came off the water grid. Water Authority takes water to that. The Crappel Police Station have been doing it since around 2022 or thereabout, almost on a daily basis, and fill up their tanks. Because the water over there is brown, very terrible. So I am saying that that's what government needs to do. They have to bite the bullet and address this one.
Yes, and it's because they are even sewage. You guys are paying for sewage, and you're not even on the system. And
what annoys me? I listen. For some reason, I listened to the Prime Minister speaking at EUN this week or last week.
Yes.
And what caught my attention was her speaking about the water situation in Barbados. And she had to go up there and talk about something concerning this groundwater that this, according to Catherine Franklin, this jobby water. She up there talking about that. So if she goes up there and talks about that, that means that they are intent on pushing this on the Barbadian public.
Oh, yes.
That water, sewage water that they want to recycle or whatever. She spoke about that up there. So it means that they intend on doing, no matter what the pushback is. And I find that no matter what the people of Barbados say, when they have their minds made up, they don't change.
Yes.
But I will say this. When elections are called, I hope that they don't come in the same reason. Because they're going to get a rude awakening.
They really should. They really should. And, you know, well, caller, thank you for calling. I'm in agreement with you that they should, everybody should get a pump, and also and to get a tank and a pump. I believe that. I believe that is. I believe that is the way to go as they fix the problem. You know, and I really believe that. Thank you so much for calling, caller.
Marcia,
I'm really sorry for what you're going through. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Toppin.
right. So, Marcia, if I may, I do support the residents' call in the newspapers last week for compensation. As I would have said in my statement, either they don't pay the bill because there's something called the Standards of Service for the Barbados Water Authority 2023 to 2025. And Marcia, if you look at, this is a quality service standard. The Standards of Service is a quality of service framework. And the objectives, one, to ensure that a minimum quality of service is maintained. So I don't have to go any further. The residents have rights, like you said, it's a fundamental human right as well. So I definitely support that call for compensation, whether they don't pay a bill, pay a nominal bill, get a rebate or credit on their bill. I wholeheartedly support that call. I also would urge the residents of St. Lucie to understand that help is on the way. But like Marcia is saying, we all have to do this together. For too long, the people of St. Lucie, I don't know if they've become numb and they're just throwing their hands in the air. I would hope not. But we need to organize and we need to strategize and we need to come together, form a residents advocacy group. And this is not about being political here. This is about getting the issue solved. And we need to take the fight together to the Barbados Water Authority and to the government of Barbados on this issue. We need interim solutions. I know everybody in Barbados talks now about, oh, you're just criticizing, but where are the solutions? Well, we have some solutions that will be rolled out in short time. I would suggest that we meet with the residents and that we plan the way forward and that we get this advocacy group up and running. And I, again, wholeheartedly support the residents' call for compensation because this has been going on too long, Marcia. When I speak to people, it's so emotional to see. I can't even describe it, Marcia. It is so emotional to see, to speak with people and to see what they are going through. And some of them seem to think that they have no recourse, but you do.
Yes.
You just can't sit and take this and say the government should do this. We have to agitate and advocate and make the relevant authorities fix the issue first in the interim and then over the long term. So I just want to say to the residents of St. Lucie that I know the Young Democrats, they're doing a water drive. I personally am doing one as well. I'm just waiting on the various water distributors to get back to me to see how we'll flesh out. But we want to do this within the next few weeks so that we can at least have
just
one
second there. There is a call, and I know Mr. Murray But let me go to the caller, and then I'm going to go to Mr. Murray. Good night, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Yes.
To the panel.
Yes, sir. Good night.
I'm a resident from Connell.
You're from where, content?
Connell Town.
Connell Town. I'm sorry, Connell Town. Yes, sir.
And this is Mr. Strickland speaking.
Hi, Mrs. Strickland. Yes, wonderful. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I was listening to the last caller, and who would have indicated he lives in Allenville. I am not totally convinced that the problem is not developed Allenville.
Okay.
Because Barbados Water Authority was on record as indicating that they brought in a new filtration system, and they have been constantly over the last couple of years working on the Allenville well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this matter is given on a political twist to it, because individuals are trying to determine to some extent how long it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's so important how long it was happening. The main thing that it is happening has been happening very, very badly over the last couple of years. And therefore, I do believe what the court order says, that the reservoirs, because there are two reservoirs at Half Acre, there is a new one which was installed. And I would think that if they installed a new reservoir and clean water is going to that reservoir, then we should not be suffering on that side of St. Lucie, which would be from, say, Checker Hall all the way up to River Bay, but also up to by Corner.
Right.
So that, first, I think we need someone to come to St. Lucie to have a town hall meeting. So I need from the Barbados Water Authority so that we can ask the relevant questions. I think the time has come when a town hall meeting needs to be convened where we, the residents of St. Lucie, can have our concerns addressed. In the absence of a town hall meeting, then I think we as residents of St. Lucie need to take matters into our own hands. Either refusing to pay water bills or we're going to demonstrate. Because I think that there has been enough information being delivered, but we are only giving our own opinions. That's the worst part about it. Everyone is giving their own opinions, and it is a matter of opinion whose is correct, if any of ours is correct. So I think that the time has come when someone from the Barbados Water Authority, I remember when we were having issues with St. Joseph some years ago. The representative of St. Joseph marched some to the correction from Buster to the Barbados Water Authority. In other words, there was representation for the people of St. Joseph in respect of the water problem. It was not discolored water, they were not getting water at all.
Right.
And then saying that we need representation on this matter, whether it is the representative or some other person. But I think that we as we have had enough of it. We are too intelligent of people to be ignored. We are too intelligent of people to be ignored.
Correct.
From individuals from solutions. So that for those who are from other parishes who are having opinions on whatever else, I respect them. But let's be clear on this. That we know what we are facing. We know what we are facing. Okay? And there's no doubt about the fact that the calls are coming in from different areas of the solution. Okay, so I think that is to some extent. But when it comes to the water drug, that's another issue. Now, previously, the Barbados Water Authority trucks, there was a jingle that the trucks carried, so that once the truck is in our neighborhood, we can hear that truck a distance away, knowing that it's in the neighborhood. I have not heard that jingle now in weeks, maybe months. So that trucks would come through a particular gap at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm not exaggerating, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So by the time you hear an engine, by the time you hear a horn, because they're not slowing down, they're going through, maybe blowing, and back out. only last Friday night, I had a very big altercation with one of the trucks, because there's two trucks that serve our area.
Yes.
One of the trucks, the crew are fantastic. But this other truck, he had already gone past my gap. I stopped him because I was in another area of Hong, to ask if he had passed my area already. He said yes. So I said to him, but we need water. I said, and if we don't get water tonight, I'm going to call the Bajan Water Authority. Well, he didn't answer. And he proceeded to say, but I don't know you. I said, you can never know me because you never come to my gap. When he came to our house, we had 2 buckets and over 30 bottles of water, bottles for water, because we had not had water in our gap. So Mr. Carter is on the parallel gap to myself.
Yes.
And I'm certain that by the time that truck gets by him, if he doesn't put that bucket out or contain out, they will drive in and drive out and will indicate, but they went through the gap. So I think that that particular truck, the workers need maybe a lesson in customer service, because this is something that we need. It's not that we are paying water bills, but something we need. And their behavior, I think, has a lot to do with that.
Yes, yes. Well, Mr. Strickland, I definitely will be reaching out to you. As you know, we are here in the Marcia Week show, and too, we call ourselves also the loyal opposition. We are a pressure group ourselves, and we are, it's not a partisan thing. But we are going to. People have been asking me, sending me messages. They want a roadside parliament down there. They want a march down there, and so we are going to join in. And if everybody does, put in their efforts, the Young Democrats are out there starting already. Mr. Toppin is asking for an advocacy group. And so, it is an issue where we can all jump in and do our part. So you're going to hear from me, because I'm going to need your help in setting up the first thing I think we need to do is to have a roadside parliament. Let the people's voice be heard. Let us see them. Let the people come up and let them talk about the issue. And so we're going to have that in St. Lucie. You can tell us exactly where we need to go, where we should hold it. So I'm going to reach out to you as a citizen, because we're doing this not as a political party, but from the citizens. This is our response to what is going on. So I will reach out to you, Mr. Strickland, on that. Okay.
And I will be very much available to assist in whatever way that I can, because I believe that Toulouse is very closely parish. I mean, relationship wise, family wise, church wise, we are pretty closely parish, and I think that we and this is the issue that we say is more partisan because of the nature of it is, and I could see, I would wish and pray that persons will come out when that time comes, so to make their concerns heard. Okay, and thank you very much for allowing me on your show, and blessings on the final day tonight. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yes, bye bye. Yes, Mr. Murray wanted to say something. Go right ahead, Mr. Murray.
Yes, thank you very much, Marcia. First of all, I'm glad to hear that you're reaffirming the title which I gave you many months so that you are a press group, and once you are a press group, you're automatically non-partisan. So keep reminding them that and apply the pressure to justify your name. But secondly, I'm disappointed on 2 scores particularly. One, I'm disappointed in Mr. Peter Phillips, who for many years had developed a reputation of being a very community-minded man, deeply involved for years in the activities in St. Lucie at all levels. I was particularly involved with him when I launched Community Independence Celebration in 1995, and he was one of the few people who was faithfully involved with part of the process. So I don't know whether Peter has given up. He's not coming back. He can't be bothered. Don't forget he was taken down as a minister. So maybe he might not be motivated. He's put enough time. So I'm very disappointed in that regard. But it seems to me that ALVIN Toppin, who we know to a neutral person, is sounding like the kind of person who obviously could replace Mr. Phillips overnight. But secondly, I'm also disappointed that the people in St. Lucie are treating this as a parochial issue. It really is a national issue. What is happening in St. Lucie, particularly, how I think what is happening in St. Lucie dwarfs what happened in St. John and St. Joseph with their water scarcity. Because you all have not only you all have a scarcity, but quality, have trend, you have everything compounded. It really is a national issue. And what it has done, Barbados for generations, for as long as I was born, we used to boast of the high quality of our water. I used to see in documents, in tourism brochures, you could turn on the tap and drink the water from Barbados because it's free, it's pure, etc., non-threatening. To see this happening now and the urgency is not being attached to it. I'm saying and that the same way the Prime Minister succumbing to popular pressure, has announced and formed what's called a National Advisory Council on citizen safety, citizen security. I think she should also form the equivalent of task force, not a talk shop. Bring the people together and adopt a serious program of activism and action. Where I live, I've never really had any water problems the last nearly 40 years. So
Mr. Murray, just another half minute. I have a caller on the line.
Yeah, sure. So I'm saying that they should up the ante as well and take it to St. Lucie and make it the national issue. It really is. And of course, I never believe that they should pay for a cent for water. They have to pay for water filters. They should not pay for anything that they're not getting. They deserve that and more. If these quarters can be given a specialty, you all in St. Lucie deserve more than a special deal.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Murray. Let's go to the caller. Good night, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Hello, good night. Good night. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for all members of your family.
Yes, sir.
I am a St. Lucie man as well.
You're from St. Lucie. Where in St. Lucie are you calling from?
I'm with the St. Lucie Love Director. I was born and bred in St. Lucie. My name is Springs, buried in St. Lucie.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say that we are a water scarce country, one. And secondly, we are a country in which we are pumping water and not getting to use all the water that we're pumping. In other words, there's a great water loss of about 40 to 45%, even 50% in some cases, of all the water generated and pumped through. And let's see attack that problem because we produce about 40 million gallons a day in water being pumped. We lose about 15 to 20 million gallons that do not get to residences.
Sir, let me ask you: are you what is your profession? And because are you a person of authority in this area?
Well, I served previously from 2014 to 2017 on Barbados Water Authority Board.
Okay, because you sound like somebody who knows what they're talking about. Okay, so continue. Of course, I'm taking your number down. Go ahead.
And it is painful to see what is happening to the people of St. Lucie. This is not about politics.
Correct.
They're not getting involved in politics. What they're getting involved in is that, for instance, if you look at the network properly, the water from half acre, it sometimes can go down, come through under to half moon floor, go through Cravel, go through Bonfield, go through Cravel, also go straight up to Generages. There was a main installed across Oregon, which could be used to, so you can block out the area going down to half moon floor, and you can run the water directly across Oregon, straight up intercontinental and into branches. So those are affected, the other areas not being affected. There's also water, quick water is also being pumped in my tank from the Maria area that would be out by just above Golden Place.
Yes.
And that water was pumped up to half acre to be stored in the tanks at half acre. But the real problem that we have is that the start plan approved finance replace the which technical liters or 6 million gallons a day of water that would have been pumped into the reservoirs at half acre and used to distribute to the people of St. Lucie. At first, there was introduced a brackish water plant. But what happened is because of overpumping, the salt water intruded into the brackish water plant, made it so that had to be closed. But the opinion that they were developing and changing it out so that it can become a desal plant so that they can pump water. The problem with the desal plants is that sometimes the pH in the water is very high and it tends to dissolve sometimes some of the lakes, it will dissolve some of the built up things in the pipe over a period of time and people will get discolored water. But this discolored water that we're getting is not that type of discoloration. It's a thick discolored water. But what has happened at the plant, the reservoir and the is that when they were pumping the water through the filter system, the whole filter system became clogged and the filters were destroyed. So filter used were not necessarily.
We're not hearing you. You're breaking up a little bit there. I don't know if it's my. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So let us go to filters. The filters were failed. So we have to look at another solution.
So let me ask you something, caller, because I would love for you to I'm going to reach out to you and to see if we can have you on to go through this with us very very clearly, because we're hearing you and I like to see pictures, so everybody can understand. But let me ask you something. Do you think that this is a problem that can be fixed?
It can be fixed because we can find a filtration system that can deal with the filtration.
Okay.
We can try to find a filtration system that can deal with that. But as to whether you have the money to purchase it and everything.
Okay, so what we are going to talk.
That's one solution.
Yeah, okay.
The major solution with water in this country is the fact that we are pumping water that does not get that. It's called non-revenue. It means it doesn't get. It isn't paid for. You're paying money to pump it, and a lot of it is going back into the ground. So that is a fundamental problem because of the leakages in the system.
Right.
The system is also under serious pressure from pumps, pumping from reservoirs and so on. And pressure reducing valves are necessary in order to equalize the system. Now, revenue water, this thing is so vexatious. Bahamas had a problem like us. And other countries, other territories in the United States have a problem similar to us. What they did was to change their whole management system to one in which they could deal with non-revenue water and reduce non-revenue water to a point where they're able to, first of all, get revenue from the water that they're pumping. In Bahamas, they were able to say to the desal plants, we don't need any more water from you because the water that is generated, they were able to deliver to the residents. And I think they brought down the brought down of course they spent $3 million to get it done, but they brought down the level of non-revenue water to about 10%.
Okay.
It was close to about 30 or 20 something.
What I would love to do, caller, and I from tomorrow, I'm going to give you a call, and we are going to have a talk and to see. I'll talk to you off the program. Okay, so I'll give you a call tomorrow because I think I'm happy to know we have a professional, Mr. Toppin, that can speak into the situation because, as the gentleman before says, there's a lot of opinions, and thank God you did some research as well. But we really need to hear from the professionals in the area and to get an assessment and to see how much money we're really dealing with if we were to really get a filtration system. Thank you so much, caller, and look out for me. I'll give you a call tomorrow morning. Thank you. God bless you. Okay. Wow, this has been really, really tremendous. Let me just bring Shaquani Hunt in for a little bit here. Miss Hunt, are you there still? Shaquani? Okay, I'm not hearing her because Shaquani, Dave, if you have that flyer, okay, she's here. Hi, Miss Hunt. Good evening. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening. I am good. You?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Shaquani, you have been doing so much work in all different areas. And I know that you started this water project and it got started on Saturday as you were using Saturday to collect and so on. Can you give us an update on what has happened with this project and how people can get involved?
Okay. So on Saturday, I was able to purchase 100-gallon bottles, and we started to fill them up on Saturday. I have a team going down to headquarters tomorrow to also fill up the remainder of those bottles. I got donations from members from the party. I got donations from opposition, people from the opposition as well. And that was able to go towards cases of water. And I was able to purchase 19 cases of bottled water. I also have another person who will be bringing 20 cases of water. So far, our count for cases of water is around 45 cases. And gallon bottles, we are at 100-gallon bottles of water. How people can get involved, as I said, we will need assistance distributing some of this water. People can purchase cases. I was able to purchase cases for as low as $16.55. If you are looking to get any of the empty gallon bottles where people in St. Lucie can use to wash their hands, wash dishes, because that is something they will also need to do, I was able to purchase some of those for $3.75 for one.
Sounds like, I mean, you have it sounds like a lot, but for the people in St. Lucie, I'm
That,
sure
that
that is like a real, like a, yeah,
is,
just a
yes,
little drop in the bucket there, but it is still something. And I'm grateful for the people who listen to the show. And that's the thing about the show is that the people are people of action, and
that
so they have listened to it and they've given you some donations and you've gone ahead and bought the bottles and so on. And now throughout the week, can people drop off water or bottles? How can they
yes,
do that?
yes, they can. So the headquarters on the flyer. Oh wait, if you move this comment right, if you move this comment at the bottom of the flyer, it says
Mhm.
that the headquarters they can go between 10 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If they can't get
Mhm.
there, they can call me and I can always make arrangements with them to go and get cases from them or arrange with somebody else to pick them up because I also did that. I had some people who were tasked with just collecting cases because the people could not get to headquarters. So it's pretty flexible because I know some people they don't have vehicles or they may be busy at work.
Mhm. 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 Now, and I know that Mr. Mr. Toppin is also working with you on this. This is an initiative by the young people, and I know this is something that he's also helping as he's waiting to get something started. A little later, right? Is that true, Mr. Toppin? You're also working with Shakwani on this as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely I am.
Yes. And so, Shakwani, Saturday morning is when the distribution is going to happen.
Yes, so I'm asking to meet at George Street for 10 a.m. because we would have to load the trucks, load the cars, and then we will go to St. Lucie. If you want to come and you don't have a vehicle, just you can reach out. So my number is on the flyer and just indicate so I can make sure I make arrangements for you. We're looking to go to St. Lucie at 11, get there for 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to meet at 10 a.m. at George Street,
Yes.
and then from there we're going to load up the truck or the bus or the or the cars or whatever we have, and we're going to go down. And again, this is again in the whole, Mr. Toppin, this is in the Bajan spirit, the Bajan spirit. This is all that it is. We have water, and we're going to share some water with those that don't have. All right, and it's empathy, it's caring for each other. So we're going to go down Saturday 10 o'clock. So I will be down there, and make sure I'm ready to go with you, Shakwani, Saturday. And Saturday morning I'll come down even earlier than that and help you fill up some bottles,
Thank you
and let's
very
go.
much.
We're going, because once one hurt, we all hurt. Okay. So
Definitely.
God willing, Saturday morning I am down there, and I'm out again on Sunday for the solemn walk. Okay, but I think this is a great initiative, Mr. Carter. You're in St. Philip. What do you think of St. Lucie? And you're having this problem. What do you think of this initiative by the young people?
I think it is very laudable. Um, I've been thinking to myself how I can contribute to it. I will be I will be reaching out and making a contribution either in terms of money or by acquiring the water itself. But she can expect to. I believe that we don't have we have a meeting. Anyhow, I will get some water to her before Saturday.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
I
Let me
did have
see.
a question though. I did have a question.
Before the question, Mr. I want everybody put a thumbs up in the chat if you're going to come Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, right at George Street Auditorium. Yes, it is. Shakwani is the spokesperson for youth for the Democratic Labour Party. However, the issue of water should not be partisan. It
No.
happens that they are the ones that are putting it together. Nobody else is doing it, so they're doing it. So I'm going to support them. All right. So George Street Auditorium on Saturday morning. Let me see the thumbs up, guys. If you don't have a ride, I'm sure you're going to jump in somebody's car, and we could carpool and get up there. All right. So we got to go up there and see and touch the people. Go ahead. Somebody had Mr. Carter, and then we
Yes,
have a caller.
I just want to hear from Stefani. How are you deciding which areas in St. Lucie you're going to take the water? Because St. Lucie is not one of those places where you can drive from one place to the other pretty easily. The things are spread out. So you have Pike Corner on one side, you have Crab Hill on another side. So what area or areas are you intending to distribute this water?
So, how well first choosing our first location, I touched base with Alvin topic because he
Uh-huh.
he was the person who was really talking about the issue in St. Lucie and bringing more awareness to it along with the citizens. And in connection with him and the St. Lucie branch, they devise which locations we will start first. How it usually works is because time you get through one gap, the people will start to come out. So sometimes we may get to maybe 2, 3 gaps, and we will have teams going through different gaps and try to disseminate the water to as many people as we can. And we're gonna share water until there's no more. And that is what
Right.
we would.
So let me.
Well, what I would say, Mr. Carter, these finer details, because one of the things I was going to do was to connect her with you and also Mr. Strickland as well. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to
Okay,
do
fine.
that connection off air and to help her. So you see how much help you have, Shaquani. You have Mr. Toppin here, you have Mr. Carter here, there's Mr. Strickland, and all these people that are calling in, right? And we're going to help. Young people are stepping up, and we're going to help them. Mr. Toppin is stepping up. We're going to help him. Anybody that's stepping up, we're going to help. And I promise the people of St. Lucie, we're going to have a roadside parliament and a march. Now, we have a caller, the last caller, because this is their hour to call in, so we have to give them priority. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Well, thank you very much, Marcia. A pleasant good night to all of you, Marcia, ALVIN, John Leslie, Shaquani, and Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray might not recognize his voice, but he will certainly recognize his statement when I said to him about 1995 or so, or thereabouts, that St. Lucie will take about 3 or so years to win, but when they do, it's going to be difficult to stop them from winning. So I'm sure Mr. Murray recognizes
I recognize that statement. Good to hear. I do recognize. And we're talking about community independence celebrations, right?
That's right.
Right. Thanks for the memories.
Yeah, in terms of what's happening now, though, I first of all want to say that there are persons who approach you and they speak in terms of when they want to vote, they speak in terms of representation. I'm going to represent you. If you have these issues, I'm going to represent you, etc. And the moment they win, that person suddenly becomes a member of parliament. Oh, I'm too busy for you. I'm in parliament. I have parliament this and parliament that. One day a week, but they have parliament or whatever. And I want to say to my St. Lucie people that anytime politicians come to your periphery ideas, the first thing to ask them, what's the budget? Because that's how you know if they're really serious. Because if they're serious about building a road, for example, they would have worked out the costing, they would have worked out a way and mechanism to ensure that our road is done. So firstly, where is the money is going to come from? But I want to say to St. Lucie that St. Lucie people are resilient people. There was a time compared to other parishes where we had no water, we had no electricity, but that also meant we had no water bills, no electricity bills. And we were able to use that saving to invest in what I call stocks. I mean the sheep and the pig and the goats, etc. I call that investment in stocks. But now in 2024, they have major issues with water. So effectively they have no water, but now they have a water bill. You know. But I'm all about solutions. And basically what we have to do effectively in St. Lucie and as Mr. Murray said, nationally, we have to mobilize, we have to organize, and we have to energize. We must get the people, we must organize them into groupings that are effective, and then we must give them the energy to go forward and to effect change. In that sense, we must get up and get. And I want to say to you, because this is a brief call, I don't normally speak much. I do. But I want to say to you, Marcia, and to the team, to ALVIN and to John Leslie, Mr. Murray, and Shaquani, I am willing to support every effort to bring an elegant resolution to this problem. But if that resolution cannot be elegant, then I'm also willing to assist any radical solutions that we can bring, because St. Lucie people deserve better. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you so much, Carlo. Very well said. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, that's a good way to end that segment of the program. mobilize. Somebody wrote it. Mobilize. We're going to organize and energize. And I think that is that is fantastic. Mr. Toppin, we're going to close off the program. It's 10:02. And I'm going to just go around and ask everybody just to take half a minute to say something to the people, either to the people of St. Lucie or say something to the minister who's in charge of water. Go ahead, Mr. Toppin.
Well, first of all, like I said in my statement, it is a situation that was going on far too long, and we need to find both short and long-term solutions to the problem. My work speaks for itself. I am prepared to stand with the people of the good parish of St. Lucie so that we can bring short and long-term solutions to this problem. So organize, mobilize, energize.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Toppin. Mr. Carter.
Well, I would just urge the people of St. Lucie not to be silent, but to speak up. Whatever forum avails itself for them to make their feelings and needs known, they should take it. Go on to the calling programs, whatever, using newspapers, whatever source or opportunity they have, they should make their concerns known.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Carter. And Shaquani, Ms. Hunt.
I want to say thank you for everybody who've made donations already, everyone who has came out and helped so far, and everyone who plans to come out on Saturday. We appreciate it, and I know the people in St. Lucie will truly appreciate it as well.
Yes, and I must say, I looked at you and I have a big smile on my face, Mr. Toppin. Here's a young lady, a young woman, appealing and to young people. And I hope we see some good, strong young men out there lifting up water too, joining you. We will need to get our young people involved. Those of you who have young people at your home, let them come with you in the car and let them bring water to give somebody else, Mr. Toppin and Mr. Murray. This is a Bajan spirit. This is a Bajan spirit. Wake up those children and let them come out and catch some water to help somebody else. It's a young woman using her time to do this, and I'm so proud of her. Mr. Murray, you have the last word, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm honored in that respect. And like Alvin, I think that when the authorities come out, they have to come with a short-term, a medium-term, and long-term plan. But I'm warning, look out for when you have restructuring, reorganizing, efficiencies. That is IMF talk. That will be seeking to take the water authority into privatization. Be careful of that. You're going to be talking about not having the funds, you have to privatize to get it efficient. Britain privatized it under Margaret Thatcher. And all the water companies now owe 65 billion pounds in debt. So the so-called efficiencies that come and savings from privatization is not automatic. So be careful that this is not going to be straightforward, that you can look for an external intervention.
Yes. Wow. Excellent. With this, we're gonna continue this this discussion, Mr. Toppin. And we're gonna keep it going. I want to just congratulate everybody for just being our brother's keeper. That's what this is really. Thinking of each other, the good Bajan spirit, in good Bajan spirit. Thank you for those of you who said that you're going to donate. I see you, Angela. And I know that when Miss Knight said she's going to donate, she will. And I'm hoping to see some of you. You might say, well, I have to come out Sunday and Saturday too. Yes, because, once people are in need, we've got to do it. It's set aside the time. If you have to go to the hairdresser or wherever, you set the time aside, right? Set aside 2-3 hours for the people of St. Lucie, okay? And we will be back out again on Sunday. We're a family. We love to see each other anyway. All right. So we're going to see each other Saturday and Sunday. Love you all. Thanks for the comments. Wonderful comments, guys. And we see you tomorrow night. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good
Yes.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Promise us a
Good
better
night.
tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me a take the vote and let me down. Me a take the vote and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me a take the vote and let me down. Me a take the vote and let me down. Barbados is too small for me. My pocket full now, you and job they promise me. And a girl like me want power and more money. You cry transparency, but that's a no for me. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me a take the vote and let me down. Me a take the vote and let me down. She did only want little dealing, big contracts and not corruption. Me a take the vote and let me down. Me a take the vote and let me down.
That mass nor English, 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 English. Pretending to be good, I pretending to be good, 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 just pretending to be good. I pretending to be good, good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending, and I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good, 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 good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. Good, 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 good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. See you tomorrow night. God bless you. Bye bye.